Hello, welcome to the Fanfic Majesty. 7 TOEFL. Chapter 34. Bond of Fire and Lightning. Hey there, readers, the third day has come, so here's the newest chapter, enjoy. CYA. What the hell? The three mages wondered in their heads as they stared at the beast man. Mages, you know the mission, scatter around the area, Veto commanded, not looking back as he did. Understood, the hooded mages replied as they ran into the path Magna and Luck came from, and then began scattering around the temple. The beast mage walked forward, eyeing the two black bulls and the temple mage. It seems I walked in on the beginning of a fight, exciting, he said as he punched his palm. Geo narrowed his eyes at the intruder. And just who are you? But more importantly, why are you here? You can just call me Veto, a member of the Third Eye, one of the strongest mages of the Eye of the Midnight Sun, he introduced himself. As for why I'm here, I've been told a magic stone was here, and I plan to obtain it. Now, you can either give it to me and I can be on my way, or my personal favorite, I kill everyone here and take it. Magna, did you hear? That guy is from the Eye of the Midnight Sun, and he said he's one of their strongest mages, he must be one of the people Captain Yami and the others fought at Neen. This must be my lucky day, Luck squealed. Lucky day? What are you talking about? If he is one of the mages who fought at Neen, that means he's incredibly dangerous, we can't fight him, the flame mage protested. You want the magic stone. So you're here for the same thing these people are. Geo asked rhetorically as he turned his whole body to face the beast mage, his grimoire flipped through pages. Sorry, but there's no way we're just going to give it to you, you're an intruder, although, I do commend you for making past the strong magic region, so why don't I give you a parting gift, water creation magic, Sea God's hammer. At his call, his entire right arm became enveloped in water, shaping itself into a large hammer. Geo then charged forward and swung the weapon right at Veto. Beast magic. Rhinoceros armor, Veto plainly said as an orange rhinoceros appeared around him. He then lifted his left arm, effortlessly blocking the hammer strike. You're not going to give it to me, you say. Well, that's all fine with me. As I said, I'd rather just kill you all and take it. Geo was shocked. That's not possible. You blocked my strongest spell, and it didn't even look like you tried. That's because I didn't. There's no way your best spell can be some weak crap like that. Beast magic. Cheetah charge. Veto exclaimed as he rushed forward at the priest. You're not worth my time, I'll take you out first. He launched a strong punch at Geo's gut before aiming for the face, sending him crashing into the wall, knocking him unconscious. He then turned around and saw Magna and Luck. The beast man paid close attention to the robes they were wearing. You two are black bulls, meaning you're on the same squad as the people who gave us a hard time in Neen. That also means that your captain is here somewhere. It doesn't matter, I'll take care of him later. What just happened? Gifso asked with shock as he looked at the screen where the intruders had arrived. Geo was defeated so easily, and he's our best mage. Who is that monster? Veto the Despair, a member of a terrorist group called the Eye of the Midnight Sun. I had a run-in with him and some of his friends not too long ago. He's no joke, even I have trouble fighting him, Yami explained. He meant what he said, he has the strength to kill everyone here, I have to get over there. You can't, my game magic doesn't allow anyone to interfere with the game until it's over, and I'm not able to end it prematurely, Gifso said. Well, those guys managed to interfere with the game, and if they succeeded, there's a chance I can too, the dark mage said as he stood up and walked forward, but as he did, his entire body bumped into something. What the hell? He said as he pushed his hands forward, something was stopping it from moving forward. He then looked around and found a window. Peeking outside, he saw a Midnight Sun mage standing in front of the building they were in. You're not going anywhere, thanks to my spatial magic. Different dimension sphere, the mage said. It's impossible for anyone trapped inside to get out, unless I want them to, and I know that's not happening. He then began to laugh. Bullshit, nothing's impossible to escape, I'll get out of here some way, and when I do, I'm gonna kick you and your sorry looking ass into oblivion. Yami exclaimed before he sighed as turned back to Gifso. We're stuck here, for now, I need to get the message to the others that trouble is here. Wait, there is something you could do, Gifso spoke up. The temple shuffle also allows me to project my voice to the entire game area in case I need to announce a rule or when I declare the winner, I could have it project your voice instead. That's perfect, Yami said as the game mage brought a blue flame-like ball of energy close to him. Here goes nothing. Hey, can you all hear me? Yami's voice asked. It echoed all throughout the temple. Captain Yami. Kenos wondered aloud as he, Asta, and Kyoto looked up. If you can hear me, then know that the Eye of the Midnight Sun has infiltrated the game premises. They've scattered around, and it's not just them. Veto the Despair is here too. A few of you might know who that is, but that doesn't matter. Gifso and I have been trapped by a spatial mage, so it's up to you to stop these bastards. I want every single one of you to push past your limits. Yami said before exclaiming the last part. Gifso's voice was then heard throughout the temple. I'm changing the rules of the game. Your objective now is to work together and defeat the Eye of the Midnight Sun, and this time, you're permitted to kill. It seems that we're no longer enemies, Kyoto said as he backed up and placed his blades into his grimoire. That works just fine with me. I don't want to fight you, Keno said as his blade vanished. Asta put his sword into his grimoire. Great, but we have a problem. He turned to Keno's. Veto's here. The solar mage thought back to his short interaction with the beast mage, and how he punched him into a wall, his eyes narrowed. Then we have to find him. If he runs into anybody by themselves, he'll kill them. This guy sounds dangerous. What type of magic does he use? Kyoto asked. Beast magic, the two replied together. Okay then, the dance mage said as he walked forward and closed his eyes. A few seconds passed before he opened them and pointed forward. Over there. Excuse me, Asta asked. Confusion was on his face. My mana sensing abilities are top-notch. They're so good, I can even detect a person's attribute, Kyoto explained. You said this Veto guy has beast magic, and I'm sensing mana that feels like a horde of wild animals in that direction. Really? That's pretty cool. You'll have to teach me to do that sometime, Keno said. But right now, we have to get going. He then began running forward, Asta and Kyoto behind him. Noelle dropped her barrier as Kahono jumped down from her spot and walked over to her. That was your captain, right? What's the Eye of the Midnight Sun? They're a group of terrorist mages that have been causing trouble for us lately. These people are no joke. One of them was responsible for the captain of another squad losing his arm, Noelle replied. Damn, that's brutal, but he also mentioned someone named Veto. Who's that? The song mage then asked. I don't know, but if he mentioned this guy by name, then he must be the strongest of them, the water mage replied. Footsteps were then heard. The two girls turned around to see two mages, their faces hidden by white hoods. It seems we found some enemies, and they're a pair of girls. This will be easy. Let's take them down. You think we'll be easy to beat? Kahono asked, a confident look on her face. Then we'll just have to prove you wrong. Are you with me, Noelle? You bet. Everyone here shall fall into the depths of despair, and it'll begin with you too. Those were Veto's last words before he raced towards Magna and Luck. In a second, he was just a few centimeters from them. The two black bulls couldn't even react before he punched them into a wall. However, that didn't keep them down for long as they got back up. Veto grinned. You're still conscious, even though you took a direct attack from me. Impressive. He's really fast, Luck stated before he gave his signature smile. But that just makes me want to fight him more. Lightning creation magic. Holy lightning armaments. He exclaimed as he equipped his gloves and boots. The lightning mage then flashed forward. All right, show me what you can do. He exclaimed as he bent one leg and protruded the other one. Veto crossed his arms as the attack made contact, but was only pushed back a few feet. The earlier grin on his face didn't disappear. You're pretty fast too, but let's see if you're faster than me. He exclaimed as he zoomed forward. I like a good competition, Luck said as he sped away from the beast mage. The two raced around the ground. They were even fast enough to run along the sides of the wall. The lightning mage looked back and saw Veto closing in. Both mages had sadistic-looking smiles on their faces. Holy shit, Magna muttered. To the flame mage, all he could really see was traces of lightning and streaks of blonde and brown. They were moving too fast for him to actually see their bodies. It seems I'm faster. Luck laughed as he kept running. He then turned around, his body still in motion as his grimoire flipped to another page. Lightning magic. Voltage trail. He made a kicking motion, sending the trail of electricity at his opponent. Veto jumped into the air, evading the attack. He then flashed forward, getting into a dropkick motion. Luck noticed and jumped out of the way, heading for the ground. The beast mage landed where his opponent had been a mere milliseconds ago, but he didn't stop as he zoomed right for Luck. We'll see about that, Veto exclaimed as they both landed around the same time, the two of them only inches apart. The beast mage launched a punch, but his opponent quickly dodged it before turning his body horizontally and kicking Veto right in the back, sending him crashing into a wall. Luck then sped right over to Magna. The flame mage looked at him. Damn, I could hardly keep track of the two of you. I'll take that as a compliment. So, when are you going to join in? It's alright if you don't want to. I'd prefer to fight him alone, Luck said, looking at his squadmate with the corner of his eye. No way I'd let you take this guy on your own. You better believe I'm going to fight, Magna said back with an oddly serious yet playful tone. Veto got up and stared down the lightning mage. I must commend you, brat. You were able to land a successful hit on me. Not many people could do that, not even Licked, especially when I'm moving at that speed. I don't know who the hell's Licked, but I noticed that when you attack, you leave yourself open for a few milliseconds, so I merely took advantage of that opening, the lightning mage explained as he got into a fighting position, how focusing on the flame mage. Alright Magna, he's back up, try not to become irrelevant. Don't count me out, ya sparky bastard, Magna grinned. Veto quickly charged over, jumping into the air as he reeled his fist back. As he descended on the ground, Magna and Luck simultaneously leapt up, the former having his grimoire ready for action. It's my turn to attack, flame magic, exploding fireball. He exclaimed as he launched the sphere of flame at the beast mage. Beast magic. Bear claw. Veto exclaimed as the claw appeared on his left hand and he used it to cut the fireball in half, but by doing so, not noticing Luck a few feet behind him. The blonde-haired teen grinned. Gotcha. Lightning magic. Thunderbolt destruction, he muttered as he shot the orbs. They quickly hit the opponent's back, sending him to the ground. Magna grinned at the lightning mage. We were right next to each other a few seconds ago. He knew I was going to attack, so he used it as a chance to use his speed to get behind the bastard and strike his back. Not bad, he thought. Veto got up again. He grit his teeth. Damn it, that lightning brat is becoming incredibly annoying. I should focus on him and take him out next, he thought as he turned around and looked at Luck. Hey you, lightning boy, prepare to fall into despair, he exclaimed as he zoomed right at him. Luck's eyes widened. He's moving a lot faster, he thought as Veto got to him in just a matter of milliseconds, punching him right in the face, sending him on his way to a wall. But this time, the beast man sped over to where Luck would have arrived and did an uppercut, launching the teen into the air. But he wasn't done, he planted his feet on the wall and used it to boost himself above his opponent. Now this is better, he exclaimed as he raised his right leg up to his head before bringing it down, sending his opponent plummeting to the ground. He soon landed right next to him. Magna gasped. Crap, that guy was just on the ground, now he's got Luck down. It was just about 3 seconds ago. His grimoire flipped to another page. Flame creation magic. Grand slam, he exclaimed as flames swirled in front of him, condensing into a baseball bat with a bandaged handle. Get the hell away from him. The flame mage yelled as he created fireball after fireball, using his bat to launch them right at Veto. The beast mage crossed his arms to block the meager attacks. He sucked his teeth. You're starting to become annoying too, he stated before noticing Luck jump into the air. He grinned evilly. Trying to run away. There's no way I'm letting that. His exclamation was interrupted as Magna announced a spell. Flame binding magic. Flame bondage formation. He exclaimed as fire appeared around Veto's legs and chest. They then became rope that bound him. What's this? Trying to buy time for your friend to escape? Futile, Veto stated, but was surprised as Magna smirked. Wrong, was all he said. Huh, Veto wondered. He then looked up and widened his eyes. Luck was in the air, a grin on his face. Above him was a large blue orb. Magna knew I wasn't moving to get away. My speed was enough to do so without assistance. He knew I was going to attack, so he used a spell to bind him and stop his movement, Luck thought. Take this, lightning magic. Electric conquest. He kicked the orb right at him. A bright light followed as the attack landed. Yami and Gifso were paying close attention to what was happening. Wow, those two are incredible, Gifso exclaimed. The dark mage nodded. Those two work well with each other, but despite that, I doubt Veto can be beaten that easily. Luck landed right next to Magna, beginning to catch their breath, but as the light faded, it tensed again. Veto had protected himself with his rhinoceros armor. The spell then disappeared. Magna's bondage spell had also dissipated. Veto turned around, an evil smirk on his face. He said nothing as he moved forward with the speed he used earlier, punching them both in the stomach. He then uppercutted them both into the air before leaping up after them, grabbing Luck's leg, and slamming him into Magna, sending them both to a wall. They weren't done yet. However, as they got out of the small crater they had formed, blood was running down the sides of their faces, smiles on their faces. I see you're not dead yet, Magna joked. Of course, there's no way I'm giving up. If I did, I couldn't call myself Asta's squadmate, Luck replied. Same here, that runt would just get back up and charge forward, the flame mage said. The two then looked at each other. But that's not it, they both said. Even though Veto's overpowering us, we've been able to work with each other perfectly, as if we know each other perfectly, they thought. Magna thought back to a few years ago when he first met the lightning mage. Hello there. Finral told me you're Magna Swing. My name's Luck Voltia. It's nice to meet you. I'm excited to be your squadmate. The two shook hands and Magna was electrocuted. Luck laughed. Did you see the look on your face? You're funny. I might never vocally admit, but you're my best friend, Luck, Magna continued to think. Luck thought back to the next day after he and Magna had met. Despite his cheerful introduction, he didn't talk to anyone, not used to being around anyone but his mother. Hey there, is everything okay? He remembered Magna asking him as he walked up to him. You seemed a lot more upbeat yesterday. I'm not a fan of shenanigans, but if you ever need someone to talk to, I'm always here. I was so focused on not being with my mother back then, I didn't realize that I had made a good friend in you, Magna, Luck continued to think. Even though he's crazy and he annoys me with his stupid tricks. Even though he's easy to prank and is super hot-headed. The two then smiled. Quote. There's no one in this world I respect more than him. They thought in unison. Hey, Magna spoke up. Think of any ways to beat this bastard. Not at the moment. When he attacks, he creates a short opening, but we don't have anything powerful enough to take advantage of it and finish him, Luck replied. But just then, both of their grimoires simultaneously flipped to a blank page. Text became inscribed on it, but as well as that, a drawn image appeared on both them, but it looked like two halves of a whole. One grimoire had part of the image, and the image on the other grimoire completed it. A new spell. This changes things. Wanna test it out? Luck asked with a tone of excitement. You bet, Magna replied with the same tone. The two then ran forward, side by side, at the same speed. So you've come for more. That's perfectly fine with me. I'll enjoy watching you fall into despair before I kill you. Veto exclaimed as he ran towards them too. The three mages only became inches from each other. Die. The beast exclaimed as he launched a punch, but the two black bulls ducked at the same. There's the opening. Luck mentally exclaimed as he and Magna reeled their right and left arms back, putting their palms close to each other as a shapeless ball of fire and electricity gathered in between them. Flame magic. Lightning magic. This is it. Come on. We're getting closer, Kyoto said as he, Kenos, and Asta kept running forward down the straight path. Be ready. Veto is a powerful mage. Even Captain Yami had trouble against him, Asta warned. The two teens nodded. As they continued, Kyoto's eyes widened. Hey, I'm picking up 2 more mana signatures where Veto is. Which attributes do you detect? Kenos asked. Flame and lightning, the dance mage replied. The swordsman and solar mage looked at each other. Magna and Luck, they said together. They must have been fighting Veto this whole time. Now we really have to hurry, Kenos said as they picked up the pace. Hey, your captain said that these Midnight Sun people have scattered all throughout the game premises, Kyoto recalled. Then that means both of our teams will face off against them. I hope they'll be okay. Don't worry, Kyoto. My squadmates are strong, and I'm pretty sure the temple mages can hold their own. Probably, Asta said with a tone of uncertainty at the end. Probably, Kyoto asked, picking up on that uncertainty. Sorry, but except for you, the other mages here aren't really that strong. Or at least, my opponent wasn't much of a challenge. It's either that or we're just too strong, the magicless mage clarified. You're not entirely wrong. They do have a tendency to underestimate their opponents. The only one of us other than me and my dad that I trust can hold their own is my little sister, Kahono, Kyoto stated. A small smile came to Asta's face. No way, she's your sister. Now I think about it, you two do look alike. We definitely owe her one. Wouldn't be able to come down here without her help. A sly smile came to the dance mage's face. For a reasonable price, I assume. Yes, he groaned back. Kenos was glad that Asta and Kyoto were getting along. They had practically met each other through battle. It was good to see they could become such quick friends. We shouldn't be too far from where they are. A few more minutes and he began to mutter to himself, but stopped as he noticed 2 attacks coming from both of his peripherals. One was rocks, the other was glass. Watch out, he exclaimed. Since he was ahead of the two, he jumped into a dive roll, just barely evading the attacks. He then did a quick set of backflips to establish some distance. He looked up and saw that Asta and Kyoto were not as lucky as him and were forced to stop. 2 hooded mages then emerged. We won't allow anyone to interfere with Master Veto's fight, they said, their grimoires coming up to them. Asta, Kyoto, Kenos exclaimed as he was about to run towards them. No, keep going. Magna and Luck might need some help. Leave this to us, Asta said, causing the solar mage to stop. The swordsman and the dance mage stood back to back. The latter spoke up. Yeah, we'll finish these jokers off in no time, then be right behind you, you'll see. Kenos knew they were right. He nodded. All right then. Good luck, he said as he turned around and started running. He heard the sounds of his friends' battle cries. His grimoire then came up to him. Solar reinforcement magic. Sunshine aura. He exclaimed as the aura appeared and his speed increased. Hold on you guys, I'm coming. He thought as he kept running. Soon, he arrived in the room of the battle, but as he looked, his eyes widened. He saw Veto, only inches away from Magna and Luck. The two were ducking, their arms reeled back as a mass of their attributes appeared between their palms. He then heard them exclaim something. Combo spell. Flame lightning exploding cannon. They cried together, bringing their reeled arms forward with as much force as they could. What the? Veto muttered, surprised by the sudden exclamation. We're not, the two began, pushing even harder as light enveloped the whole room. Going to lose to you. Chapter 35. The power around me. Hey there, readers, day 4 is here, and with it, a new chapter. Sorry that I posted it a bit later than my other chapters. I had a family matter to take care of, but I'm confident that this chapter will blow your minds. CYA. Magna, Luck, Keno's thought, amazed by the sight he saw that was his superior's combo spell. Even though Veto was powerful, there was no way he could survive an attack like that point blank. But as the light faded, and he saw the result of the match, his heart dropped. Veto stood strong, blocking the attack with the use of his rhinoceros armor, an evil grin on his face as the flame and lightning from Magna and Luck's attack vanished. The two black bulls dropped to the ground from exhaustion and low amount of mana. On the ground, their arms were close to each other. No, that can't be. He survived an attack that powerful, Keno's thought as he stood in place. Not going to lose to me. What a bunch of empty shit. Although I will commend you, that attack of yours managed to startle me for a few seconds, but it wasn't able to hurt me. I don't know if it was just weak, or not as strong because of your current condition, but I obviously don't care, he mocked as he looked down at them. So tell me, how does it feel to be in despair? To know that your best effort just isn't good enough, not too great is it? Don't count us out. Yet, the weak voices spoke. It was Magna and Luck. They had smiles on their faces, but they were as weak as their voices. We're not done. We'll beat you, you dumb bastard. Veto's facial expression changed to a displeased one. His enemy's last-ditch effort to defeat him had failed, so why were they smiling and saying how they could still go on? He raised a fist into the air as a bear claw surrounded it. Stop lying. You can't keep going. You can't fight the despair, but you will die by my hand. Keno's watched as Veto was about to bring his fist down to end the lives of his two squadmates. It appeared to be moving in slow motion. A look of cold nonchalance appeared on the Solar Mage's face as he took out his ring and put it on, activating it while his Sunshine Aura was still in use. Solar Creation Magic. Solar Construct. Gauntlet, he whispered as he clenched his armored fist. Ha ha ha, I'm going to enjoy this, eh? Veto was beginning to exclaim, but was stopped as a gauntlet came right at his face. He was sent into a wall in a matter of seconds. Keno's landed between Magna and Luck. The gauntlet disappeared. By combining the aura from both his ring and his spell, the Solar Mage had reached a speed he never had before. He extended an arm towards Veto. Solar Binding Magic. Sunbound Shackles. At his call, the Beast Mage's wrists and ankles became trapped in cuffs. He looked up. Hey, I remember you. You're that brat that tried to attack Licht when he was injured back at the cave. Keno's disregarded his words as he placed a hand on Magna and Luck's backs. Solar Recovery Magic. Healing rays of the dawn. They then began to glow. Keno spoke up. A small smile was present. I saw that combo spell you two pulled off. That was awesome. Thanks, but you sure took your sweet time, Magna weakly joked as he chuckled. I had some other people to worry about, but I'm here now. Yami and Gifso watched from the screen. The game mage gasped. Impossible. He was able to survive such a spell. Are we doomed? Relax, old timer. Magna and Luck may have not won, but regardless, I'm still proud of them. They were able to push past their limits and create a new spell. Good for them, Yami said before his eyes tensed. But that means you'll have to fight that guy alone. Keno's, that initial attack was impressive though, you better push past your limits as well. Keno's gathered his strength as he picked up his two squadmates and carried them to a safe spot at the edge of the area, leaning them against the wall. You guys stay here and rest, leave Veto to me. You sure? That guy is really tough. Luck asked. Keno's was internally shocked to see that the Lightning Mage's voice was actually laced with worry. That didn't stop the Solar Mage from grinning. Don't worry, I've sort of faced off with him before, I'll be just fine. Ah, Veto's yell echoed throughout the whole room as he broke free of his restraints. Keno's turned to face him, equipping his twin gauntlets. The Beast Mage charged at him. Hey you, son brat, you may have gotten a lucky hit on me, but it won't happen again. I'll make you fall into total despair. The Solar Mage's face grew serious as he clenched both fists and rushed forward with great speed. Oh yeah, you go right ahead and try. An area of the game premise was silent, but the sounds of footsteps soon echoed throughout as Vanessa ran by. I haven't run into my Temple Mage opponent yet, that and Captain Yami said the Eye of the Midnight Sun is here. I've never fought any of them, but if what the others said about them is true from their attack on the capital, they're bad news, she thought. I need to find somebody. She kept running, passing through a cascade of small rock formations, but her advance stopped as she widened her eyes at the sight in front of her. A man was holding a Temple Mage's throat with one hand. The Temple Mage's pufferfish mask was on the ground, revealing his human face, which was gasping for air. The perpetrator had his hood down, letting the Thread Mage see his black hair. Isn't it ironic? A sea creature begging for air. Well, sorry, but I don't feel like giving it to you. I'd rather like to see you die in my hand, the black-haired mage said with a sadistic grin. He then noticed something at the corner of his eye. Turning around, he saw Vanessa. The grin didn't disappear as he carelessly dropped the Temple Mage on the ground, looking at Thread Mage intently. Oh, looks like a beautiful target has appeared. Vanessa jumped back and took out her grimoire. I take it you're with the Eye of the Midnight Sun? She asked sternly. That's right, you're my enemy, he said as his grimoire came up to him. Mosquito magic. Mana sucker. He exclaimed as metallic needles sprouted from his palm. He pointed them at Vanessa. Just like the name states, if these needles scratch or pierce you, I can drain some of your mana, and I'll tell you now, I'm going to enjoy this. Ugh, gross. Sorry, but you're not my type. I don't dig sadistic weirdos, Vanessa taunted as the mage jumped into the air, ready to stab her, but she jumped as well, making some distance as she ran along the rocks. I have to be careful. Those needles are most likely how he took out that temple mage. I need to keep my distance and not get too unnecessarily close, she thought as she kept running in a circle around her opponent. The mage grinned, knowing what she was trying to do. Trying to keep your distance. That's not going to work. You can't escape me, the great Toik. I never fail to catch my target, he said as his grimoire flipped to another page. Mosquito magic. Mosquito hum. At his call, Toik jumped into the air. Large metallic needles then appeared between his fingers. He skillfully shot them all around his vicinity, even forcing Vanessa to evade some of them. But then, the needles then began emitting a high-pitched shriek. Damn! Vanessa exclaimed as she held her ears and dropped to her knees. What the hell is this unbearable spell? One of my most useful spells. It'll be much harder to evade my mana sucker attacks with your eardrums coming close to exploding, but that won't matter, because you'll be dead really soon, Toik calmly explained before he smirked and ran forward, using this as a chance to get a hit in. No matter what, I can't let that thing touch me, Vanessa muttered as she tried to dodge his attacks to the best of her ability. Still resisting. While it's futile, I would be lying if I said I wasn't enjoying this. That other guy was no fun at all. Victory feels better after the thrill, so much better. Toik exclaimed as he ran forward and extended his foot, soon ducking and aiming a sweep kick at Vanessa's legs. The mosquito then raised his needles. Time to take that mana of yours. He was about to jump, but then found himself unable to move. What's going on? He wondered with a perplexed tone as his previous spell became undone. Vanessa grinned as she stood up. That's better. I don't know how much longer my ears could have taken that, and I guess you're surprised as to why you can't move. She brought her hands up, showing that there were threads in her hands. It's actually quite simple. When I was running around you earlier, I used that as a chance to place threads around the area. I knew you'd get caught in them eventually, and it seems I was right. Toik growled. You haven't won yet, bitch, I'll find a way out of here. I honestly doubt that. This fight is over. Thread magic. Dancing doll, Vanessa said as she moved the threads in her hand, suddenly causing Toik to move with them, as if he was a puppet being controlled by a puppeteer. She then had him turn his hand, aiming his needle at his own chest. The thread mage playfully hummed. I wonder what would happen if your own spell pierced you. Let's find out, she said as she forced him to pierce himself. His needle then began sucking out his mana, but it didn't stop. He lost so much mana, his skin was beginning to wrinkle and become gray. Damn. You were the last things he said before he closed his eyes. Vanessa released her spell on him, letting him fall to the ground, laying there unmoving. There we go. That wasn't an easy fight, but I still won, she said before noticing that despite Toike's state, his needles were still present. I did use a good amount of mana setting up those threads. She tied threads around the needle, breaking it off of the mage's hand as she pulled it above her, using her magic to break the needle in half, letting a cloud of yellow dust fall on her, replenishing her mana. Good as new. I feel a lot better, she mumbled to herself, but then she felt something, and looked behind her. I'm sensing two large mana signals coming from that direction, and one of them feels faintly familiar. I better get over there, she thought before running down a path. Elsewhere, another one of the black bulls was facing a different opponent. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Why me? Finral exclaimed as he ran down a long and large path, but behind him wasn't a temple mage or a midnight sun mage, but in fact a huge fish. My stupid foot, stepping onto one of that old man's traps and sending a large fish after me. The spatial mage yelled as he tried to increase his speed, but the fish did too, and managed to trap him inside its mouth. A familiar portal appeared outside the fish's mouth, and Finral ran right out from it. There's no way I'm letting myself get eaten alive. The fish continued to follow the spatial mage, but this time, Finral chose to turn around. I can't outrun you forever, so I know exactly how to get rid of you. Spatial magic. Fallen Angel's Gate, he said as he formed a portal, letting the fish fly into it entirely. He then sighed a breath of relief. Nice, that trap spell fish has been taken care of. His facial expression then slightly changed as he noticed something in his general forward direction. I'm sensing mana. Two people, not sure who though, but one of them feels familiar. I really don't want to have to fight anyone, but if I don't, Captain Yami will end me when he gets free, he thought as he ran in that direction. Song magic. Destructive beat. Kahono loudly yelled at their two opponents, sending them flying into the most nearby wall, knocking them unconscious. She grinned. We did it. Thanks for the help, Noel. What are you talking about? you were the only one attacking, the royal girl reminded her. But you were responsible for defending me against all their attacks. Thanks to you, not a single one hit us, the song mage said. Noelle nervously nodded. Yeah, you have a point there, she said before they both stopped and looked in one direction. Hey Kahono, are you feeling what I'm feeling? She nodded. I am. 2 signatures of mana coming from that direction, she replied. And hey, quick question, do any of your squadmates use a type of solar magic? Yeah, a boy named Kenos, the water mage replied. How do you know, and why is that important? I have exceptional mana sensory skills, to the point where I can detect a person's attribute. It's something me and my brother learned, Kahono replied. As for why it's important, one of the mana signatures feels as bright as the sun, while the other feels like a horde of wild beasts, and of the two, the latter feels incredibly stronger. Noelle caught on to what she was implying. Are you saying it could be possible Kenos is fighting that Veto guy Captain Yami mentioned, by himself? We have to hurry, if we don't he could be killed. She exclaimed as they both ran in the direction of the strong mana. Solar magic. Sunbeam ray. Kenos exclaimed as he fired the shot right at Veto. The beast mage crossed his arms, blocking the attack. He then quickly zoomed forward. Kenos quickly sped over to the wall and jumped to it, using it to do a backflip and evade Veto's attack as he punched the wall. The solar mage grit his teeth. Thanks to my double aura combo, I'm able to keep up with him in terms of speed, but it won't last forever. I'm beginning to feel the physical and magical toll of using them at once. I'm going to have to try using ki soon to make up for it. Just remember what Captain Yami and Kyoto said. Impressive. Veto's remark pulled Kenos out of his thoughts. The beast man stood still as he then turned from the hole in the wall he made, looking at his opponent with a grin. You've got some skills. I wasn't expecting you to be that fast, especially from what happened back at the cave, but then again, you are aligned with a sacred one. Kenos narrowed his eyes. There was that talk again of this sacred one. The solar mage still had no idea of who or what that was. Hey, both you and Licht keep talking about this sacred one, but just what is that, tell me. Veto chuckled. What? You have that grimoire but you don't even know. He taunted before charging forward. I don't need to tell you, because you'll be dead in a few minutes. So, whoever this sacred one is, it has to do with my grimoire. My guess back then after the battle at Neen was correct. That's good, Kenos thought as he jumped into the air. You can't escape me, Veto exclaimed as he jumped up after the solar mage. The two stood a decent distance away. I need an attack that can cover the distance between us, and Sunbeam Ray isn't too effective. Time to try something new, Kenos muttered as his grimoire flipped through pages. Solar creation magic. Solar construct. Whip. At his call, a long orange whip appeared in his hand as one of his 2 gauntlets disappeared. Kenos then sent the whip in a lashing motion in his opponent's direction. Unfortunately for him, Veto moved aside his body midair and caught the whip. What the hell was that? I'd stick to the fists. Damn it, the solar mage muttered as he was about to let go of the whip, but he wasn't fast enough as Veto quickly pulled it, dragging Kenos through the air before letting the whip go, sending him on his way to a wall. The whip disappeared, but despite that, Kenos grinned. That attack might have not worked, but I've been just given a great opportunity, he thought as he positioned himself with his legs being closest to the wall. Once he finally made it to the wall, instead of hitting it, his 2 feet planted themselves on it, letting him use it to boost himself right back at Veto. Take this. What the? Oh, I see, you used that as a chance to boost yourself in my direction. Not a bad plan, but it won't succeed, Veto said as he dropped back to the ground, but he didn't stay there as he boosted himself up again, heading straight for Kenos. Ha! That was the exchange between them as they both reeled their fists back and launched a punch, creating a rather strong shockwave. Our punch was almost evenly matched, meaning we're nearly even in terms of strength too. That's good, I just need something to put me ahead of him. Then, Kenos thought, but was interrupted as he got a strange feeling out of nowhere. Suddenly, another punch came from Veto, and the solar mage dodged it. Wait a minute, what did I just do? Did I anticipate his attack? Am I using ki? Did I learn it during the fight? Yes. Asta's going to be so happy when he continued to think, but once more it was interrupted as Veto launched a mid-air kick right at his chest, sending him crashing into a wall. A small crater formed behind him as he fell out of the crater and onto the ground. Veto landed too. It seems you fell for my feint. I didn't think it'd be that easy. Feint. So I wasn't using ki. He purposely made sure I could sense and dodge the punch so I wouldn't notice his kick, Kenos mumbled as he slowly got up. He held his chest. Damn it, that hurts a lot. Hey, Kenos, are you alright? Magna asked as he tried to get up. Don't worry, I'll be right there. Same here, I won't let you fight such a strong guy by yourself, Luck joined in as he too tried to get up. No, stay down, you guys still need to rest, don't worry about me, Kenos told them as he looked at his ring. 3 outlines were already gone. Shit, At this rate, I'll lose my extra speed in just about a few minutes. I need to hurry. Back up. Good, beast magic. Bear claw. Veto exclaimed as he fired the 3 orange claws at Kenos. Solar creation magic. Amaterasu's guard. The solar mage exclaimed as the Japanese sun goddess appeared and protected him. Nice, he was about to say, but stopped as he felt someone quickly come up behind him. His eyes widened as he figured out who it was. No way. You better believe it. I noticed that spell of yours doesn't seem to cover your backside, so I came here as soon as I launched my attack. Veto explained before exclaiming, bringing his fist back for a punch. I won't let you. Kenos exclaimed as he used his speed to jump in the air before Veto's punch landed. He looked down at his bestial opponent. Solar creation magic. Rain of solar daggers. The orange circle appeared over Veto as the daggers quickly fell. The beast mage didn't look worried though. That's an easy spell to evade. I bet it only falls, he said as he quickly moved out of its range. As I suspected, too. Solar magic. Sunbeam ray. Kenos suddenly exclaimed, but this time, the beam hit as Veto got shot into the wall. Alright, it worked. Veto stood up and walked out from the crater he formed, stretching his neck back and forth. Can't say I expected that. You copied me, using one attack as a mere diversion so I wouldn't notice another attack. The solar mage shrugged. Hey, it works, why not use it? True, but be warned that's the last hit I'm letting you get on me, because you've managed to piss me off. The beast mage exclaimed as he charged forward. Kenos prepared to do the same, but then his opponent did something different. Just as he was starting to close in, Veto made a left turn and boosted himself toward the wall. He then landed but quickly boosted himself over to the right side of the wall, repeating the action as he descended to where Kenos was. The solar mage was ready for his attack, but Veto zoomed right by him, heading for the wall again. How do you like this, son brat? You can't tell when I'm going to attack. All the while, I can keep moving and building up kinetic energy to make my eventual attack more powerful. Are you worried, anxious? Is the obvious difference in our abilities making you despair? The beast man taunted proudly as he continued moving. Can this guy just stop talking about despair? I swear it's almost like a catchphrase to him. But despite that, he is right. I don't have any clue when he's going to attack, and with the speed he's building up, if he gets a clean hit in me, I'm screwed. My ring enhances my durability, but nothing to the amount I'll need to come out of that injury free. This is it then. I have to use ki. Just focus on what you've been told, sense my opponent's movements with my entire body, and feel what's around me, Kenos thought to himself as he stood still, eyes open. Through the screen, Yami and Gifso watched the battle between the solar and beast mages. The latter spoke up. What's he doing? Why is he standing still when his opponent is moving so fast around him? Is he trying to get himself killed or something? No, Yami replied seriously. He's trying to use ki, the only probable technique that can save him from his predicament. The only problem is he's been struggling to use it lately. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little worried. And what'll happen to him if he can't use it? The game mage asked. The dark mage blew smoke from his cigarette and looked at him. If that happens, either he finds out another way to escape, or he's dead. Damn it, we have to get in there. Kenos needs some serious help, Magna said as he tried to get up again, but his body wouldn't let him. Hey Luck, I probably know the answer to this question already, but do you know any recovery spells? Luck shook his head. Not even one. I was afraid of that. The rookie is on his own. Let's just hope he can find a way out, the flame mage said. Focus. You can do this. Just focus on what you've been told, Kenos whispered to himself as Veto flashed around him. He's not moving. He must be paralyzed with fear and uncertainty, so this is the extent of the strength of a mage who aligns with a sacred one. Disappointing. Time to finish this, Veto thought as he boosted himself downwards, coming at the solar mage with tremendous speed. I'm pretty sure he's coming right now. This is it. Kenos thought as he turned and launched a punch at where he thought Veto would be with his armored fist. The beast mage was initially shocked when he noticed the black-haired teen move, but that shock was then replaced by an evil grin. Kenos launched his punch in the wrong direction, leaving his entire right side exposed. From the corner of his eye, the solar mage noticed a streak of blonde and brown. No. Damn, it didn't work. I messed up. My body can't move fast enough to react at this stage. I need to think of something. He mentally exclaimed to himself in a tone of severe panic. Kenos. Yami yelled. Kenos. Magna and Luck yelled. It's all over. Veto exclaimed victoriously. Although Kenos' body couldn't react fast enough, when he launched his punch, his other, unarmored hand, was positioned downwards, clenched in a fist. That fist then began to glow orange. Solar magic. Sunbeam ray. The solar mage yelled in his mind as the beam fired downwards, thrusting him high up into the air, saving him as Veto hit where he was just a few seconds ago, forming a sizable crater around him. Yami breathed a sigh of relief. Good, he's okay, but I'm totally going to kill him for worrying me like that. Magna and Luck did the same as their captain. What a trick, he nearly gave me a heart attack, the flame mage said. What the? Veto muttered as he noticed Keno's body was nowhere to be seen, not yet realizing that his target was above him. Solar creation magic. Solar construct. Staff. The solar mage muttered as the staff appeared and his second gauntlet disappeared. He gripped the weapon tightly with both hands as he descended. So much for being the last hit you take. Veto continued to look around. Where'd the brat go? Over here. A voice exclaimed from behind him. He turned to see Keno's, both hands gripping his staff as it was raised above his head, just about a foot away from the beast mage. With all of his might, Keno swung his staff forward, hitting Veto straight in the head. The beast man dropped to his knees and held his head while the solar mage backed away, his staff disappearing. As Keno's got a good distance away, his two auras faded simultaneously. He looked at his ring and saw all the outlines go black. It seems I used everything the auras had left on that last strike, but that's okay. Now that Veto's dazed, he won't be able to dodge this, he said to himself as his grimoire flipped to the page of his strongest spell. Solar Cross Destroyer should finish it, but what if it doesn't? Magna and Luck's combo spells hardly did anything to him earlier. Sure, they must have been weakened before doing so, but the same is true with me. Veto might be dazed, but what if he can cast something to escape just like I did with his attack? The solar mage looked at his hands. This could be my chance. I need to learn how to use ki. That way, if Solar Cross Destroyer really doesn't finish him, I can somewhat match him now that I've lost the things that are equalizing our speed and strength, he said. Last time, I tried to implement what both Captain Yami and Kyoto told me, but I couldn't do it. Perhaps I should just try implementing one at a time. I already tried the captain's method, so now it's time to use Kyoto's. He then closed his eyes. His two squadmates looked at him with confusion. What's he doing? Luck asked. I don't know, but whatever it is, he'd better hurry before that bastard regains his coordination, Magna replied. Keno's took a deep breath and exhaled. Feel what's around you. The light breeze, the crumbling rocks, the quiet sound of waves in the background, your own breathing, feel it all, and reach a state of mental awareness with the environment around you. He then slowly opened his eyes, and as he did, they widened. All around him, he could see tiny white droplets of light. As that, mana, I didn't know there was so much, I couldn't even sense most of this earlier, he deduced in his head, the mysterious energy that gave life to this world and was used by mages to cast a variety of spells. But he then noticed something. Some white droplets were moving in a direction, while others were moving in the opposite direction, some were going up and down, and others were swirling around. The mana, it's moving. Keno's thought as his eyes locked on Veto, or more specifically, the mana around him. It was a different color, but more importantly, it gave off a different feeling. The mana around him, it feels ravenous and untamed. I can also feel the mana around me, it feels nice and warm, I can see their movements and feelings. Wait a minute, is it possible, am I feeling the ki of mana? He closed his eyes again, but the droplets didn't disappear from his mental vision. Incredible, I understand what you mean, Kyoto, but that's not it. I can feel what's around me, but now I have to find a way to become stronger through it. He protruded his arms forward. Whenever a mage wishes to cast a spell, they use mana, either their own mana, or the mana in nature. So to become stronger, I need to utilize the mana around me. I need to gather all the open, neutral mana, and bring it to me. I don't know if it's possible, but I have to try. Thankfully, as if the heavens honored his thoughts, the white droplets began to slowly come his way. Once they got close enough, they changed color, becoming a bright shade of orange. In his mind's eye, Keno's could see the droplets condensing into an orange circle in front of his grimoire. Hey Magna, do you feel that? Luck asked. Feel what? Magna asked back. The lightning mage pointed a finger at Keno's. I'm sensing a crazy high amount of mana, right in front of Keno's. I can feel it. The mana right in front of me feels really strong. If I cast a spell using this mana, it should undoubtedly be stronger and have a higher potency. It's really cool when I think about it. You know, this technique should have a name. What should I call it? Keno's thought before a lightbulb went off in his head. I know the perfect name. Veto eventually snapped out of his daze. He looked at the solar mage, his eyes closed and his arms protruded forward. What the hell are you doing? You didn't attack me even though I was vulnerable. You're either honorable, foolish, or an honorable fool. You'll regret not taking the chance when you had. He exclaimed as he charged forward. Keno slowly opened his eyes, a small smirk on his face. No, I regret nothing. The only one who will be regretting anything is you. Solar magic. Mana charge. Solar cross destroyer. Huh, was the question that went through the heads of everyone watching, from Magna and Luck, to Yami and Gifso. Even Veto was confused by the extra phrase Keno's added to his spell. The solar mage summoned his two X's, he divided the first one and shot them at Veto, but they were moving much faster than usual, restraining the beast mage in a matter of seconds. He then took the second X as it charged with magic. He then clenched his fist, sending a blast far more powerful than the previous times he used it. A cloud of dust followed the attack, and when the dust cleared, Veto was seen laying on the ground. Keno smiled before he dropped to his knees, his grimoire doing the same. I did it. I beat him. Holy crap, Kenos, what the hell was that? Yami remarked. It was like you were trying to read ki, but then ended up doing something entirely different. Who cares about all that? The important part is that he won, we're all saved. Gifso cheered. Nice work, Kenos, Magna and Luck called to the best of their ability. Thanks, you guys, and don't worry, once I rest a bit, I'll come over there and finish healing you, the solar mage tiredly told them as he gave them a thumbs up. That won't be happening. The sound of a familiar voice brought fear to Kenos' eyes. He turned and saw Veto weakly get up to his knees, his grimoire out. Beast recovery magic. Blessing of Caladrius. He spoke as an orange construct of the famous Roman bird flew around Veto. It then flew into the sky and dispersed, becoming a cloud of orange dust that fell on the beast mage. The injuries around his body began to heal as he stood strong once more. My best recovery spell, able to heal all injuries I've sustained as well as replenishing my mana and stamina. Too bad I can only use it once every few days, he explained as he walked to Kenos. No way. I gave it everything I had, Kenos said as Veto's shadow loomed over him. I'll admit it, you gave me the hardest fight out of everyone here, and all by yourself, but regardless, you didn't win. I did. Don't you feel the despair welling up inside you? Veto taunted. But to his surprise, the solar mage's face was dead serious. Despair. Inside me. No way in hell. Sure, my attack didn't take you out for the count, but my squadmates didn't give up, and neither will I. All I need is a few minutes, then I'll kick your ass all over again. Veto raised a fist into the air as a bear claw surrounded it. Too bad I won't give you a few minutes, it's time for you to face the same fate everyone else here will very soon. Kenos closed his eyes and braced himself, but the attack never came. He opened his eyes and looked in shock to see the swordsman and the dance mage in front of him, both of their blades out, protecting him from the enemy in front of them. Asta, Kyoto, Kenos exclaimed gratefully. They both grinned at the solar mage before their faces grew serious as they looked at the beast man. We won't let you lay a finger on our friend. Chapter 36. The one who will never quit. Hey there, readers, sorry that this chapter is a day late. I had a biology paper to do. I've still got to keep up with my school responsibilities, so here's the day 5 chapter. I just wanted to thank you for reading and hope you've enjoyed this string of chapters. CYA. You guys, you're here, Kenos said as he looked at the two mages protecting him. That's right, sorry we took longer to get here, Asta apologized. Those two were stronger than we thought. But we're here now, Kyoto finished. I see those two squadmates of yours are over there. Did you fight this guy alone? I did, but I was able to manage. I followed what you said, I felt what was around me, and it worked, Kenos replied. So you learned ki? The dance mage asked. Sort of, I'll explain it to you later, the solar mage answered. Well, it appears that more people have come to face me, I just can't seem to kill anyone, Veto said as he ended his struggle with the two and backed up. He then pointed right at Asta. We meet again, swords thief. Why do you and that creepy licked guy keep calling me that? Asta asked. It's simple really, the demon slayer's sword, and the demon dweller's sword, those two swords you have don't belong to you. Once I kill you, I'll bring them back for the master, Veto replied. And then you say that, who is this master person anyway? The swordsman exclaimed. The beast mage cracked his knuckles. You don't need to know that, as I just stated a few seconds ago, you'll be dead, I'm not letting you or anyone else here leave this place alive. Asta pointed the demon slayer at his opponent. You better believe we won't let that happen, we'll stop you. Kyoto stepped up as well. He's right, this is my home, I won't let you kill the people here, he said as he stared down his opponent, but then, his gaze fell upon a sight, and that sight made his eyes widen in shock. It was Gio, laying against a wall a number of meters away, completely unconscious. No way, he beat my dad, but he's the best mage we have, Kyoto said in disbelief. Veto looked confused, he then turned around, only seeing Gio. It didn't take him very long to put two and two together. Wait, that's your dad, and you said he was your best mage. You're joking right, I took him out of the fight in seconds, out of everyone I fought, he was the least challenging, he said with an evil laugh. You're going to pay for that, the dance mage said seriously, turning to Kenos. Get some rest, Kenos, leave this fight to Asta and I, he's been weakened from all the earlier fights, finishing him off won't be difficult at all. No, it won't be easy at all. Right after I launched my last attack, he cast a super strong recovery spell which healed all of his previous injuries. He was also able to recover his mana and stamina. he's fresh and ready to fight, the solar mage warned them. The sun brat's right. I'm back at my best. All your talk about beating me and not letting me kill anyone is just a load of shit, Vedo taunted as he beckoned the two with his hand. But if you still want to fight, by all means, come at me, I'll enjoy beating you to a pulp. Alright then, I'm leaving this fight up to you two. Good luck, Keno said as he gathered his strength and stood up, picking up his grimoire and placing it in his satchel. Give him hell for all of us, he extended both of his palms at the two teens. Asta and Kyoto smiled as they each extended one of their own palms, giving Keno's a high five. You can count on us. The solar mage smiled as well. Good, he said as he weakly walked over to where Magna and Luck were and sat down next to them. Yo, Kenos, we're proud of you, you were able to fight that guy alone, not to mention you created that crazy technique out of nowhere, Magna said. Thanks, it felt kind of strange using it, maybe I can try using it again, I can heal you too, Kenos spoke up. It's worth a try, I wanna get back into the fight, watching you all duke it out but not being able to join in is getting boring, Luck groaned. Kenos took out his grimoire and stood in between the flame and lightning mages, he closed his eyes and focused, as he opened them, he saw the white droplets once more, he protruded his hands forward as the droplets gathered and the orange circle formed once more. Okay, here goes nothing, solar recovery magic, mana charge, healing rays of the dawn, he said as he touched them both. The two black bulls were enveloped in an orange light much brighter than the normal recovery spell. Wow, this feels a lot more potent than it did earlier when you saved us, Magna remarked, but just about 3 seconds after saying that, the glow disappeared. Kenos began to breathe heavily as his grimoire fell next to him. Damn it, I haven't mastered this technique yet, even though it doesn't utilize my mana, it really takes a lot out of me to use it. I think that right now, I can really only use it once and still have enough strength to keep on fighting. Well, that's alright, I do feel better, even though I'm not in fighting shape, Luck said. It seems we'll have to leave this to Asta and that other guy. No more playing around, Asta said as he pulled out the demon dweller, holding the two swords in his hands. You ready for this, Kyoto? I am, let's take this guy down. Kyoto replied as they both ran towards Vedo. I'll start it off, Asta exclaimed as he ran by Vedo's side, sending a barrage of slashes and lunges with the demon dweller, but the beast mage dodged them all. So, is that all you got? You won't beat me with that level of fighting, Vedo smirked as he launched a punch at the magicless mage. I'm not giving up, Asta exclaimed as he read the beast man's key, dodging his attack before quickly raising the demon slayer into the air, bringing it down right on Vedo's shoulder. Shit, Vedo cursed under his breath as he backed up and looked at his shoulder, it wasn't bleeding, but it did hurt. The demon slayer can't cut. It's only capable of dealing blunt damage, what did that boy do to the sword? He thought. Getting sidetracked during a fight will lead to your defeat, dance reinforcement magic, assisting steps. Kyoto exclaimed as the aura appeared around him, he sped directly towards the beast mage, but quickly spun his body around and appeared behind his opponent, ready to strike. Nice try, Vedo exclaimed as he turned around, using the momentum of his rotation to boost the force of his incoming fist. Kyoto crossed his blades together to block the attack, while it succeeded in protecting him, he was sent back a number of feet. A good attempt, underwater brat, you're already proving to be stronger than that sorry excuse for a father, Vedo said. Don't mock my dad, the dance mage growled angrily. Vedo grinned sadistically. Oh, I'm sorry, did that strike a chord? How? He was beginning to taunt, but stopped as he noticed the swordsman in the corner of his eye. He was in the air, ready with both swords to attack in a horizontal slashing motion. The beast mage jumped out of the way. He almost got me, he thought before he heard the dance mage proclaim a spell. Dance magic. Enchanting pirouette. Kyoto exclaimed as he closed in on Vedo, dancing as he did so. The beast mage grit his teeth. That spell of his creates afterimages, it's hard to track his movements, but I know he's getting close, he thought. Kyoto quickly arrived right at Vedo's left side, he wasted no time casting another spell. Dance magic. Gyration blade. He proclaimed as he started to violently rotate. The attack managed to land a hit on his bestial opponent, cutting his arm, but that was the only hit he got as Vedo's grimoire flipped to a page. Beast magic. Rhinoceros armor. He exclaimed as his body became protected by the spell. Vedo was protected from Kyoto's violent tornado-like attack, but once the attack ended, the beast mage's armor suddenly disappeared. What the? He muttered before noticing Asta behind him. Unbeknownst to the beast mage, while he was dealing with Kyoto, the swordsman moved up on him quietly, trying to not be noticed so he could land a sneak attack, but when he saw Vedo cast his defense spell, he lightly tapped the armor with the demon dweller, dispelling it. The beast man angrily grit his teeth. Why you little, he began, ready to turn and uppercut the magicless mage, but lack of attention bought Kyoto time to jump and kick Vedo into a wall. The dance mage landed next to Asta. The latter looked at the former. That was awesome, Kyoto. I didn't know you were so skilled. You must have been holding back when we first fought. Kyoto grinned. Yeah, that's pretty much true, but it seems that you were holding back as well, he said, looking down at the mage's two weapons. I take it those are the swords Veto was talking about. I didn't know you had more than one, and that you could use them together despite the fact that they're different sizes. Plus, they even have names. I wonder if I should give my blades names. Who's getting sidetracked now? A voice asked. The two turned to see Veto get out from the wall and walk towards them. That was just a lucky shot. The next time will be different. I won't lose to underwater scum and magicless trash who just happens to be a thief as well. I'm not going to lose, you hear me? I'll win, and plunge you all into despair. Back for more. Fine then. Mirror magic. Large reflect ray. Ghosh exclaimed as he shot a Midnight Sun mage into the wall. The mage weakly spoke up. But how? My chain magic had the advantage. How did I lose? He then fell unconscious. The mirror mage walked away, hands buried in his pockets, a bored look on his face. I can't believe I have to face off with these people again, and just when I thought Neen would be the last I saw of them, although, these bastards are a lot stronger than those temple mages, fighting just two of them did a good number on my mana. He continued walking, passing by an open trail lined with rocks. Captain Yami said they scattered around the temple, so the others are most likely handling them too, he mumbled before his eyes tensed. But he also said that Veto Bastard is here. The members of the Third Eye are around captain level, and the old man said Yami was too strong to play with us, meaning if the beast guy finds anyone, they're as good as. His self-talk was interrupted as a pebble fell from the side of one of the rocks. Ghosh turned to his left, a mirror by his side. There's no point in hiding. Whoever's there better come out. You have till the count of 3, then I'm firing. The mirror mage didn't even need to count to 1 before a figure emerged from behind a rock. It was. Him. Don't shoot. Ghosh, it's just me. Ghosh was initially shocked to see himself, but quickly remembered who it was. Oh, Gray, it's just you. What were you doing behind that rock? I heard what the captain said, about the Eye of the Midnight Sun being here. I was already sort of hiding from my temple mage opponent since transformation magic isn't really an ideal attribute for fighting, he replied as he walked to the mirror mage. I guess that's true. We should see if we can find the others, Ghosh said as the two began walking down the trail. He then spoke up again. There's something else I want to know. Sure. What is it? Gray asked back. Why did you transform into me? Well, when the fight started, I knew I couldn't do anything, so I kinda got scared, and whenever I get scared, I transform into you, he replied. Into me? You think I'm the bravest person in this squad or something? I'm surprised you didn't turn into Asta or Captain Yami, Ghosh said. The transformation mage shook his head. I think Asta is very brave despite his age, and I respect the captain, but transforming into you gives me this sense of comfort and peace of mind. I like it. As that's so, well, I'd like it if you turn into Marie. Seeing her wonderful face gives me a feeling of comfort and peace of mind, the mirror mage suggested. Gray twiddled with his fingers. Sorry, but I prefer to stay like this. Ghosh groaned. Fine, I suppose it can't be helped. Do whatever keeps you calm. With the enemy here and your lack of offensive power, you can't afford to not have a clear head. A small smile touched Gray's face. Thanks. The mirror mage ignored his words as he spoke up. We're about to enter another room. I'm not detecting any mana signatures. It should be safe, he said. But as they walked into the next room, Ghosh was immediately proven wrong. 2 magic circles appeared under their feet as vines quickly sprouted from the ground and propelled them into the air before binding them. What the? Slow clapping was then heard. The 2 black bulls turned their heads and saw where the clapping was coming from. On the side of the wall to their right, a mage was leaning against it. He had dirty green, spiky hair, and a confident smile on his face. Laying down next to him were 2 temple mages. They were unconscious. Ghosh looked at the mage's robe. He's a Midnight Sun mage, he realized before he spoke up. Hey you, bastard, how the hell did you do that? I didn't detect your mana. The mage stopped clapping and stood straight, walking to the 2 trapped mages. Bastard, it isn't wise to insult your captor. My name is Zuda, and to answer your question, I have a magic item that masks my mana. As for my spell, Vine Trap Magic, Bind Vine, it can't be detected when it's set. The mirror mage grit his teeth. I'll call you whatever the hell I want. Once I get out of this, you're so screwed. Zuda grinned. I wouldn't be so sure of that. You see, my spell does more than just trap you. It drains your mana. It was how I took this one out so quickly. He lightly kicked one of the temple mage's unconscious bodies before turning to look at the other one. As for this one, he was already out when I got here. Damn it, that's not good. I already lost a sizable amount of mana from fighting those mages earlier, and now I'm going to lose more of it, Ghosh thought to himself. Think Ghosh, think, you have to find a way out of here. The mirror mage looked around for some inspiration to an idea that would help them, but as he did, he saw something, or rather someone. Thanks to being elevated by the vines, he could see Charmy behind a large rock next to a stream, but she was sleeping. It's the glutton. I didn't sense her mana either. I guess it was because she's sleeping, so now I have to save all three of us. All by myself. I should. He began thinking before he stopped and thought back to the fight in Neen, how he and Asta worked together to take down Baro, resulting in his new spell. Ghosh softly sighed. No, I should try to fight with the others as much as possible, he thought before looking at the transformation mage. Hey Gray, how are you holding up? I'm good for now, although I can feel my mana getting lower. We have to hurry and get out of this trap, Gray replied. I have a plan, but I'm going to need your help. Do you see what I see behind that rock? The mirror mage asked. Gray looked forward, his eyes widened once he saw who was there. It's Charmy, he whispered as to not let Zuda know that the cotton mage was there and where she was. That's right, but she's sleeping right now. I need you to find a way to wake her up. The transformation mage grinned. No problem. I know just what to do, but you have to follow my lead, he said as he struggled to position his hands at a large nearby rock, just right next to the one hiding Charmy, but once he was able to do so, he didn't hesitate in blasting the rock with some kind of weird smoke-like air. In just a few seconds, the rock became a large chunk of meat, still on the bone. Ghosh looked at it with confusion. Meat, that was your plan. Gray did between nodding and shook his head. Not all of it, but this is Charmy we're talking about. It's your turn now, you know just what to say. The mirror mage nodded as he took a deep breath. Hey Charmy, wake up, this guy is trying to steal your food, you better stop him. Huh, who are you talking to? Zuda wondered aloud, he then turned and saw the large hunk of meat. Meat. Wait, why would I try to steal this from anybody? I'm a vegetarian. Those words of his didn't matter, unfortunately, as the cotton mage heard the cry and slowly got up. Someone is trying to steal from me, she asked rhetorically. She then saw the huge piece of meat, and Zuda right next to it. Step away from the food, pal, or someone's going to get hurt. The vine mage looked at the girl. She was short and didn't look strong, but her magic power felt ferocious, almost like a wild beast similar to Veto's. I need to bind her as well, he mumbled as he sent vines her way. Bad move, buddy. Nobody gets between me and my food, she said as her grimoire came up to her, flipping through pages. Cotton creation magic. Sleeping sheep's mega hit. At her call, the giant sheep appeared behind her. It cracked its knuckles as it speedily made its way to the vine mage, uppercutting him feet into the air. Strike 1. Charmy spoke. The sheep then stood up straight and punched the right side of his face, sending him racing in the opposite direction. Strike 2. The sheep then zoomed over to where Zuda would come and launched another punch, this time, on the left side of his face, but the fist maintained contact as he went in the other direction, slamming him right into the wall. That's strike 3, the cotton mage said with deadly seriousness as she gave a thumbs up, but it quickly changed to a thumbs down. You're out. She then turned and drooled at the sight of such a large meal. Come to Charmy, she exclaimed as she playfully jumped towards the meat face first, ready to chomp down it, but once her teeth latched onto it, it turned back into a rock. What? This isn't meat. Damn it, I've been tricked. Ghosh and Gray watched in disbelief as Zuda was beaten in a matter of seconds. The former spoke up. Damn, I forget how strong she can be, he said before turning to his squadmate. And you? Gray looked at him. What about me? I wasn't paying attention to it at first, but I didn't know you could use your magic to transform things other than yourself. I don't think I've ever heard of a transformation mage that could transform objects. That's really impressive, the second time you've impressed me this week. Second time. The mirror mage nodded. Yeah, the first time was when you made that plan to help Fanzel get away from those Diamond Kingdom assassins. The transformation mage turned around to hide the large smile growing on his face. Thanks, I'm not used to getting praised so much, he said before his eyes widened. He then began to hold on to himself. Oh no. Ghosh was confused. What's the matter? I'm out of mana, Gray replied. Usually, I don't run out of mana for a good few weeks at a time, but that guy's trap combined with transforming the rock used it up. Now I'm going to revert back to my true form. Charmy walked over to them. Why are you worried? You're just going to transform back into the big guy. We've all seen your true form. No, that's not my true form. He didn't get to finish his statement before a puff of smoke surrounded him. Ghosh and Charmy still didn't get what their squadmate was talking about, but when smoke disappeared, their eyes widened greatly. In front of them wasn't the man they were expecting. In fact, it wasn't a man at all. It was a woman with blue hair. She wore a sleeveless shirt and long puffy blue pants. Over her shirt was the black bull's robe, and she was covering her face with her hands. No damn way. Gray, you're not a he, but a she. Charmy exclaimed. Gray turned her head away. Why yes, Please stop staring at me, it's embarrassing, she shyly stuttered. You're a girl, all this time we thought you were a guy. You've been in the men's bath countless times, bathing with us, that means, why you've seen everything, Ghosh exclaimed before lowering his voice down in shock as he laid his hands on the thing in between his legs. Gray blushed as she waved her hands in a denying manner, still averting his gaze. And no, you're wrong, I haven't seen it, I'd be too embarrassed to look at it anyways. Charmy spoke up. So spill it, Gray, just how old are you? The transformation mage shyly looked at her. 24. 24. You're 5 years older than me. She exclaimed. What? You're 19 years old. Ghosh exclaimed this time. Charmy's excitement toned down instantly as she picked her ear, looking at the mirror mage. Yeah, so. There's no way in hell I'm going to believe the two of us are the same age. He exclaimed. Well, I guess you just got to deal with it, the cotton mage said back with a small grin. The mirror mage growled at her. UG guys, please don't fight. We have to find the others. I just hope they're all alright, Gray stuttered. True, but I'm running low on mana. Trying to find them now could be risky. We could get ambushed, Ghosh said back. My mana is perfectly high. I know the perfect thing to help you too, Charmy said as her grimoire flipped to another page. Cotton creation magic. Sheep cooks, she said as her chefs appeared and started making food. The cotton mage grabbed 2 plates and headed them to her squadmates. Here, eat this, the food has been changed up so it can replenish your mana. Guachi took a bite. Once he did, he could feel his magic power returning. Nice, let's refill our magic, then we'll move out and find the others, he said. Damn it, Asta and Kyoto said as they breathed heavily. The 2 mages stood beside each other. Veto was only a few feet away from them. He didn't look like he'd suffered many injuries. The beast man grinned. So that's all you got? Who knew all it'd take was a second win for me to overpower you both? He was right. After being dealt that kick from Kyoto and shortly coming out from the wall, Veto had increased in everything. His speed, strength, reaction time, all of it. The 2 swordsmen were scoring in hits, but they were few and far between. Why don't you just quit? If you do, I'll try to make your deaths painless, emphasis on try, Veto said to them. No way, we're never going to give up. Asta exclaimed defiantly. Not giving up. You like to say that a lot, thief, Veto noted. Kyoto charged at him. Give up. No way we're doing that, it would be disrespecting everyone that fought their hardest against you, like my dad, those 2 black bulls, and our friend Kenos. We won't stop now, do you hear me? Fine then, I gave you the chance, fall into despair. Veto exclaimed. Just shut up already. The dance mage exclaimed as he jumped into the air, his grimoire flipping to a page. Dance magic. Rhythm dive. Sound ripples then appeared around him, being accompanied by the bubble stream from his assisting steps as he readied his blades in a horizontal slashing motion. Too slow, Veto said as he easily dodged the attack, and once Kyoto touched the ground, his grimoire flipped to a page. Beast magic. Sly cobra. He exclaimed as a large orange cobra tail appeared around his right leg. He then did a sweep kick, the tail elongating his range as it tripped Kyoto, putting him a few inches in the air. I'm not done yet. Beast magic. Striking ox. He continued as he zoomed over to the dance mage and punched him into the wall, knocking him out. Kyoto. Asta exclaimed. You're going to pay for that. I don't think I will, Veto began. Thanks to our little fight, I've identified the 3 reasons why you could never beat me. Ha! Asta yelled as he charged forward and began attacking with the demon dweller. The beast mage started dodging them quite effortlessly. 1. While your swordsmanship is impressive, your attacks are rather simple, making them easy to predict after seeing them the first time. He launched a punch, but Asta dodged it before quickly backing up, but he wasn't expecting Veto to zoom right after him, quickly catching up. 2. While you are physically strong, that strength is no match for one whose strength and speed has been magically enhanced. Asta quickly planted his feet on a wall, using it to thrust himself directly above Veto. He put the demon dweller away and gripped the demon slayer with both hands. Be quiet, he exclaimed as he came down. But his attack was ineffective as Veto grabbed the swordsman while in midair by one arm of his arms. He squeezed it tightly, forcing his opponent to drop his weapon. And finally, 3. You don't know when to give up, he stated. You think if you keep fighting, you'll eventually find a way to turn the tables and win, no matter how strong the opponent. He squeezed harder. But all that it does is leave you open to mortal wounds. Even in the world we live in, not all wounds and injuries can be fixed. Watching you wield those swords makes me sick to my stomach, so before I kill you, I want to hear you scream as you fall into despair. The beast mage then began squeezing Asta's arms even harder than before. He grinned as he watched the swordsman look like he was about to yell in pain. Asta, Kenos, Magna, and Luck exclaimed. The solar mage tried to get up. I can't just sit here, I have to do something. He began walking forward, but quickly dropped to his knees. Damn it, I still haven't recovered from the physical recoil of using the two auras at once, not to mention the toll from using mana charge. Yes, yes, scream. Veto exclaimed, but then his opponent did something strange. He bit into his arm. He's biting me. He thinks that will do something. Nooniversevade anyone by giving up, he slurred. The hell you say? Veto asked. But then, a large soundwave came right at him. From the entrance into the area, he turned to see Noel and Kahono standing there together, faces serious. And I thought animals were supposed to have good hearing, Noel stated. We'll just repeat what he said for you, since you're apparently stupid, Kahono added. He said, no one ever saved anyone by giving up. Chapter 37. Awakening of the Water Dragon. Hey there, readers, just wanted to quickly say that OC suggestions are back up. They'll be up until March 12th. That's all I have to say. With that out of the way, enjoy the new chapter. CYA. Well, more enemies, and just like the other moments, right on time. If I didn't know any better, I'd think you just wait around until the most climactic part of a fight to show yourselves, Veto said tauntingly. Shut up. The two girls exclaimed. Kenos looked at the two newcomers. Nice, Noelle's here, but who's that other girl? She has the temple mage attire, and she sort of looks like Kyoto. Wait a minute, that must be his sister. I just hope she's strong enough, he thought. Noel looked around, seeing the mages who were defeated in one way or another. Did this guy beat everyone here? But Kenos appears to be safe. That's a relief. Now we have to save Asta, she thought. The song mage had a similar thought as the other two mages. So this guy is Veto. He looks as strong as his mana feels, and he's no joke. She turned to two temple mages. He was able to beat both Kyoto and Dad. This isn't going to be easy, but we can't cower, otherwise he'll kill us all. If you two think you can beat me, you're welcome to try, Veto grinned as he loosened his grip on the swordsman. Asta wasted no time grabbing the Demon Slayer's sword. You heard what they said. I'm not going to save anyone by giving up, so you better believe I'm not done. Veto looked unimpressed. Whatever nuisance, I'll finish you off later. I have some fresh prey, he said as he punched Asta's face, sending him flying straight for the wall. Asta, Noel exclaimed. Don't worry, I got it. Song magic. Rhythm cushion. Kahono exclaimed, sound waves coming from her mouth as she did so, causing a cushion to appear behind Asta, giving him a soft landing. Thanks a bunch, Kahono, Asta said before he dropped face first onto the ground, his eyes closed as he laid there, conscious, but unable to get up from his position, but that went unnoticed as the water and song mages looked at their foe. No need to thank me. Normally I'd charge you 30 yules for that save, but I think we can forget about money for a little while, the song mage responded as she and Noel looked at each other. I'll go left, you go right. The song mage instructed as the two girls ran in a circling direction around the beast mage, making sure to keep a good few yards of distance from him. Song magic. Destructive beat. She continued as she sent a powerful shockwave from her voice at their opponent. Song magic. Unlike those other two brats I fought earlier, you can use long-range attacks. A little while ago, that would be out of my wheelhouse, but things are different now, Veto mumbled to himself as he jumped out of the way. Let's see if you can dodge that again, Kahono said as she launched the same spell. Veto turned in her direction, his grimoire flipped to a page. I don't need to dodge it this time, just watch, beast magic, lion roar. He exclaimed as a translucent orange aura surrounded him and took the shape of a lion. It too released a powerful shockwave, meeting the song mage's attack head-on. Damn it, I wasn't expecting him to copy me. His shockwave is a lot stronger than mine. I don't know how much longer I can hold on, Kahono thought. Thankfully, the struggle didn't last any longer as Noelle used her wand to shoot meager water balls at the beast mage. While that didn't really injure him, it did manage to catch his attention, which caused him to stop his spell. So, you can use long-range attacks too. Alright then, I have the perfect spell to handle you too, beast magic, porcupine artillery. Veto exclaimed as the aura changed from the shape of a lion to the shape of a porcupine, but unlike the real animal, quills were all around its body, even its head. Veto clapped, causing each and every quill on the porcupine to fire in every direction. Damn it, water creation magic, sea dragon's lair. Noelle exclaimed as she formed the water barrier to protect herself, but then she noticed her friend who was on the other side. She panicked. Kahono. Don't worry, I'll be fine. Song magic, rhythm cushion. She exclaimed as she formed the cushion, but this time, she hid behind it. The two girls were protected from the attack, but the same couldn't be with everyone else who was there. They were about to scream, but a voice called out, bringing them instant relief. I got it. The voice came from Kenos. He weakly blasted orbs of solar magic, destroying the minimum amount of quills in order to protect everyone else there, conscious or not. Nice work, Kenos. The two girls exclaimed. It's all good, just be careful. The solar mage called back as he slumped back. Ah shit, I was starting to regain some of my mana from the fight, and now I just used it all up protecting the others. I just hope they can win, but if not, just hold on long enough until we regain our strength or one of the others get here. Veto's spell disappeared as Noelle and Kahono's protection spells did the same, the latter grit her teeth in frustration. This is bad. Destructive Beat is my best offensive spell at the time, and Veto has a spell that can equal it. To make matters worse, Noelle doesn't know any real offensive spells. On our own, the best we can do is minor damage. We need to kick it up a notch, and I know just how to do it, Kahono thought as she turned her head, slightly pouting at the sight of her unconscious older brother. The song mage took a deep breath before she opened her mouth. Hey, Kyoto, stop napping and wake the hell up. What kind of brother are you sleeping while your little sister is fighting for her life? She yelled incredibly loudly. While she was unaffected by her loud exclamation, everyone else who was conscious covered their ears. Veto kneeled, holding his ears as well. Oh, what the actual fuck? Her normal screaming voice is louder than when she casts her damn spells. Why didn't she just start with this? It might as well be an attack. Kyoto heard the screaming as well as he slowly came to. He held his head. What just happened? It sounds like someone screamed right in my ear. The only person who would do that is Kahono. He groaned as he stood up, his eyes alert as they fell on Veto and Kahono. Kahono, you're here. That's right. You finally woke up. Say, do you remember what our dream is? The song mage asked. How could I forget? We're going to become a singing and dancing idol group and take the Clover Kingdom by storm, her brother replied. Kahono smiled. Good. Just remember, we can't do that if we die here, so we have to win. My offense alone isn't enough, so we'll have to use it. Kyoto slightly widened his eyes before they burned with confidence and a grin formed on his face. Alright, I never thought we'd have to use it like this, but we have no choice. The water mage was visibly confused. What are they about to do? She muttered. Kenos, Magna, and Luck were curious too. The solar mage turned to his two squadmates. I don't know what they're about to do, but I just hope that it's strong enough to finally end this fight, he said. The other two nodded. From the screen, Yami and Gifso watched too. The dark mage turned to the old man. Spill it, old timer. What exactly are those two planning? The game mage shrugged. Beats me. Whatever my grandkids are planning, I don't know what it is. I see. Then we might be in for a surprise, Yami said. The two siblings stood straight, closing their eyes and taking one deep breath before their grimoire simultaneously flipped to a page. Kahono then began to softly sing. A blue stream became visible around her. At the same time, Kyoto became encased in an aura of the same color. He lunged forward in a striking position. Song magic, Kahono whispered. Dance magic, Kyoto whispered as well. The two siblings then opened their eyes together. They were filled with seriousness and the want for a triumphant victory. Let's do this. Combo spell. See God slash. At the sound of the exclamation, Kyoto quickly charged at his bestial opponent. Veto looked surprised. He's moving a lot faster than he was earlier. I might not be able to react in time, he muttered as all he could really do at the time was cross his arms and brace himself. Kyoto attacked in a horizontal cutting motion, but much to Veto's surprise, it effortlessly broke his crossed arm block, leaving him defenseless to the attacks that ensued. The dance mage jumped into the air. He spun 3 times, sending 3 crescent-shaped slashes at him, forming a cut on the beast mage's shoulder. Kyoto quickly landed and launched 2 vertical crescent-shaped slashes. These inflicted small cuts on his torso. How do you like our See God slash? It has my sister using her song magic to boost the power of my dance magic. Where'd all that talk about despair go? Everyone who was conscious looked in awe at the combo spell, Kenos and Noelle especially. Incredible. I didn't know they were able to do something that powerful, they thought in unison. Yami was quite impressed too. He whistled. Not a bad combo spell. It's even stronger than the one Magna and Luck pulled off. Regardless, I'm still proud of those 2 knuckleheads, he said before turning to Gifso. He was a bit shocked to see the old man was crying, but then the dark mage's face changed back into its plain expression. What the hell? Why are you crying? That combination of singing and dancing, it's how those two have always paid respects to the sea god, hence the name. The fact that they mastered it to the point where it could do something like this is truly incredible. I'm so proud of them. Gifso cried joyfully. Damn it, how am I letting the magic of such scum do this much damage to me? Veto muttered to himself as he suffered other cuts, courtesy of Kyoto. You look tired, but don't think we're done yet, there's more where that came from. Kyoto exclaimed as he charged forward again. I won't let you get another hit on me, beast magic, cheetah charge. Veto exclaimed as he sped at Kyoto as well. If I can't block your attacks, then I'll just increase my speed to evade them and counterattack. The dance mage smirked. You can try, but it won't work, he said as they were close to being inches from each other, but then, Kyoto jumped into the air, doing a front flip before quickly turning around while in midair, firing 2 slashes straight at Veto's back. The beast mage was not expecting his opponent to do something like that, causing him to not notice the attacks before they hit his back. So, not another hit. I guess you're the one full of shit now, Kyoto said. Alright, that's it Kyoto, you can do it. Keno's cheered to the best of his ability for his friend. The dance mage quietly nodded at the solar mage before turning his attention back to Veto. You may have defeated many mages, but your time ends now. We won't let you win, for the sake of the Black Bulls that bravely fought to protect our community, and for the sake of our dream. The last part captured Veto's attention. This wasn't the first time he heard them mention their dream. Your dream, Kyoto ran along the sides of the area, firing slashes from a safe distance. That's right, hopes and dreams, that's what my sister and I have, a goal to look forward to in life, to take our skills to the people on the surface, but it's not just for our dream. This underwater place is our home, with people we care about, people who mean the world to us. Whatever reason you're here, we won't let you take that all away from us. Once the dance mage finished his statement, a shadow appeared around Veto's face. The beast mage also stopped talking and launching any taunts, but had begun to silently, albeit skillfully, dodge all of Kyoto's slashes. In Veto's mind, he saw Licht, but his eyes weren't visible. The light mage was smiling though. However, there were some things that were different. Licht was wearing a white tunic, different from the midnight sun robe he wore, but the most different thing about him was that his ears were pointy, almost like some kind of elf, and behind him were a group of other people. Though their faces were unidentifiable, they wore similar clothing as Licht. Kyoto noticed the reflexes of his opponent suddenly increase as he began dodging all of the slashes that he sent his way. That isn't working anymore, so I have to get closer, he exclaimed as he jumped up a few feet into the air and planted his feet on the wall, using it to boost himself straight at Veto. This is it, the last attack. The dance mage continued, but unbeknownst to him, Veto angrily grit his teeth. You're not the only ones. The beast mage loudly exclaimed as he turned to face the direction Kyoto was coming in. I had hopes and dreams too, as well as people I cared about, but do you know what happened to it all? They were taken away from me, by stupid humans like you. Kyoto quickly made it to where Veto was, but unlike the first clash since the two siblings unleashed their combo, Veto had managed to dodge it. But that wasn't it. A bare claw appeared on his hand and he made a strong and quick swiping motion, not punching or slashing, instead doing something much more gruesome. He cut off Kyoto's right foot from the ankle down. Everyone's eyes widened greatly. Kyoto, however, felt an immense pain like he never had before as he gasped, but he didn't have much time to worry as Veto punched him right in the face into a wall, the force being so strong, it blew his dismembered foot to him. The combo spell ended, but that was the last thing on Kahono's mind as she held her mouth, a horrified look on her face, Noelle doing the same. Yami and Gifso didn't say a word, just a silent flow of tears falling down the latter's face. Magna looked away, and even Luck, the battle-hungry maniac, couldn't keep his eyes forward. Kenos just sat there in shock, unable to believe what just happened to his new friend, the person who had helped him finally learn ki in a way, leading to the creation of a new technique, the person who had an aspiring dream to be a famous dancer. The solar mage opened his mouth as began muttering KKK, but then, it came out, as a loud scream. Kyoto. Kenos screamed as a sudden burst of energy overtook his body. He got up and ran to the dance mage, but the energy was short-lived and he quickly sank to his knees. The solar mage looked at where his friend's right foot used to be. He could also see the dismembered foot not too far. It took all the willpower he had not to throw up as blood leaked from Kyoto's massive wound. Damn it, damn it, damn it. I don't have enough mana to cast a recovery spell, but he's losing too much blood, Kenos said as he noticed Kyoto's temple robe. He then thought of something. This is the best I can do for him right now. The solar mage tore a long piece of Kyoto robe and wrapped it around his leg, using it as a tourniquet to staunch the blood flow. Kyoto then began to groan, his eyes closed. Kenos moved up to his friend. It's going to be all right, he softly said as Kyoto passed out from blood loss. Kahono's look of shock and horror quickly turned to anger and she brought her hands to her sides, her fist clenched in rage. You bastard, I'm going to make you pay for that. Unlike the others in the room, Veto had a sadistic smile plastered on his face, but that quickly contorted to annoyance at another one of the song mage's loud screams. Would you shut up? No way, my brother had a dream, he was going to be a famous dancer, his every step would entrance those who watched him, but you just ruined it, I'll avenge, by making sure you're dead. Kahono exclaimed in response. Veto quickly zoomed over to the angry sister. In seconds, he was right in front of her. Avenge him. Don't make me laugh. You couldn't beat me then, and you can't beat me now, so don't give me that shit, you stupid bitch. He exclaimed as he made a swift jab, piercing Kahono's throat. The girl spit out blood as she dropped to the ground. The sadistic smile from before returned to the beast mage's face. He can't dance, and now, you can't sing. Noelle couldn't believe what she was seeing. Kahono. No, she muttered quietly, in too much shock to exclaim like the previous two mages. Tell me, how does it feel to know that the dream you've worked so hard to achieve can never be fulfilled? It must feel terrible, the despair must be welling up inside you. Veto asked as picked Kahono up by her ponytail, blood oozing down from the girl's mouth. Watching from afar, tears fell down Gifso's face as he saw the fate that befell his grandchildren, and similar to his granddaughter, his sadness soon became anger. She might have not been able to make you pay, but I will. His grimoire came up to him and flipped through pages, stopping at one. Nobody messes with my grandchildren. Game magic. Monster toy. Though his call couldn't be heard by the beast mage, he could see the large fish coming at him from above, but he was unimpressed. Who the hell cast that? Ah, whatever. Better just take care of it. Beast magic. Leopard kick. Veto exclaimed as an orange aura covered his left leg, quickly becoming the shape of a leopard's leg. He merely raised his leg up, kicking the fish straight into the wall. Damn it. Gifso exclaimed frustratingly. My spell doesn't do anything to him, I'm useless. Don't worry, it's not over yet. If we can find a way out of this spatial magic trap, we can go help them, Yami said in an attempt to reassure the old man, but in reality, the dark mage was just as worried. Now that minor distraction has been taken care of, time to get back to you girly, Veto said as he looked Kahono right in the eyes. I want to see the sweet look of despair on your face, so show it to me, let me see it. The song mage's facial expression began to change, causing Veto to grin, but that grin quickly vanished as Kahono's face didn't show despair, not in the slightest. Instead, she looked at him with defiance before opening her mouth. The sweet look of despair. You won't find it on my face, she weakly croaked, her retort just barely being heard by the beast mage. As that's so, then it seems piercing your throat wasn't enough, I think I'll pierce those eyes of yours next, I don't mind making you blind. Veto exclaimed. Blind? No, I can't let him do that to her, I have to stop him, I'm the only mage here who can still fight, it's up to me, Noelle thought to herself. I'm going to enjoy hearing your weak screams of pain. Veto exclaimed as he was about to strike. Hey, you. The beast mage immediately stopped, his hand just a few centimeters from Kahono's eyes. He turned to his head to see Noelle, her wand pointed at him. Veto wore his unimpressed look. Oh yeah, you're still here. Be quiet, release my friend, or else you'll be sorry. Noelle exclaimed angrily. You're not strong enough to make demands to me, girl, ever since you came here, you've really only launched one attack, I know you're not a threat, he told her. Noelle's stance slightly faltered at his words, but she quickly straightened herself back up, the grip on her wand tightening. Don't underestimate me, she exclaimed, but in her head, she was beyond worried. He's right, I haven't been able to do anything substantial during this fight, I bet that before Kahono and I got here, everyone else gave it their best, but I haven't been able to do that. All I have in terms of offense is a basic attribute attack, that could either hit Kahono or miss him, and even if it did hit him, what could it really do, she thought as a lone tear fell down her face. Hey, don't cry Noelle, a voice suddenly said in the water mage's mind. Huh, that voice, it sounds just like Kahono, she mentally asked herself. She looked closer, Veto was looking right at her, but looking at the back of his head was Kahono, and even though she could hardly speak a small smile was on her face. I see you noticed me, Kahono mentally said. What the? How are you able to telepathically communicate with me? Noelle asked. It's just a skill that I picked up, but that's not important, you look like you're going to attack, so why aren't you doing anything? The song mage asked. What can I do? I can't fully control my magic yet, I could hit you, and even if my attack lands on the right target, I have nothing strong enough to make a difference, the water mage replied. Noelle, remember what I told you, your so-called lack of control is just in your subconscious, I believe that you can do it, so you have to believe as well, Kahono then said. From what I understand past your want for control, you also lack confidence, you don't think that you're strong enough, but you're wrong, you already proved yourself wrong when you made that spell on the shore, you're strong enough, now teach this beast bastard a lesson, show him that you are a threat. A small yet warm smile touched Noelle's features. Kahono, thank you, she thought before a large and powerful blue aura surrounded her, lighting up the entire area. What the? Kenos, Magna, and Lux said in unison. As for Kahono, she merely smiled. Veto, however, looked shocked. What's going on? So much mana is surging inside of her. I won't repeat it again. Release my friend, now. Noelle said, her voice brimming with confidence. I hardly felt her mana earlier, and now there's so much of it, Veto muttered before he raised his voice. Talk, girl, just who the hell are you? I am Noelle Silva of the Black Bulls. Noelle exclaimed in response. Silva, wait a minute, is it possible, are you, royalty? Veto asked, his eyes widening as he heard her last name. And so what if I am? That doesn't matter right now, let her go or you will regret it. Noelle continued, but then, her grimoire came up to her, it flipped to a blank page as text became inscribed on it. A new spell. That's the second one today, awesome. The beast mage angrily grit his teeth. Royalty, he muttered. People like you are the most tainted among all humans. He exclaimed as he roughly threw Kahono to the ground, giving his full attention to the water mage. If you think you can beat me, then give it all that you got. Noelle took a quick breath, placing her faith in her new spell. It'll be my pleasure. Water creation magic. Sea dragon's roar. She exclaimed as she shot a large serpentine dragon of water out of her wand, heading straight for Veto. Everyone who was watching looked at the battle with shock, they never knew Noelle could use such an attack. Beast magic. Bear claw. Veto exclaimed as the claw appeared on his hand, he then put as much force as he could into striking the head of the dragon, stopping it dead in his tracks, he grinned. I guess you weren't as strong as I believed you were. Well, I did, he began to say, but was interrupted by a loud voice. Go. Noelle yelled as she pushed her wand forward, giving the dragon more strength, it quickly got past Veto's one-handed guard. Shit, the beast mage muttered as he held the dragon's mouth as the watery beast launched him around the wall before the dragon shot out the building entirely, leaving Veto on the ground. Crap, what a spell, Veto said as he tried to get up, but quickly noticed something was incredibly wrong. Ah, he exclaimed as he saw his entire right arm was missing. Noelle took deep breaths. I held back the power to focus more on control, but it seems I did just fine, she thought. Dismemberment doesn't feel too good now, does it? My arm. I'm going to make you pay. Veto exclaimed as a raging red aura surrounded him. He put his head down. A few seconds passed before he lifted it back up, but it caused everyone's eyes to widen. Right on Veto's forehead was a third eye. Holy shit, Kenos muttered, but then he noticed a faint orange glow in the corner of his eye. He looked and saw that it was coming from his grimoire. What's happening to my grimoire? Why is it glowing when it's closed? It started when that freaky eye appeared. What does it mean? Veto took a breath, loudly exhaling, a grin on his face as he looked at Noelle. Thank you for waking me, Royal, I'm grateful, he said as his grimoire came up to him. The aura around it had a red tint to it as it flipped to a page. Mythical Beast Recovery Magic. Tan Grisnir Regenerator. He exclaimed as a red magic circle appeared on his right shoulder. A few seconds passed before his blasted arm grew completely back. What? Noelle exclaimed. She shot such a powerful spell at him, but he had managed to grow the limb back. Mythical Beast Magic. That must be what the eye did. It must have somehow changed his magic in a way. Perhaps my grimoire is picking up on it, Kenos said. That wasn't a bad attack. Now it's my turn, Veto said crazily as his grimoire flipped to another page. Despair. Mythical Beast Magic. Manticore Flare. He exclaimed as he protruded his hands forward, a similar magic circle appearing in front of them as the dark head of a manticore came out and released a powerful blast right at the water mage. Gifso. Project my voice again, Yami said seriously as the game mage did so. Noelle, get out of the way. Noelle thought about it, but decided to stand firm. No way, I'm the only one who can fight, I won't run away. She exclaimed as the attack seemingly made contact, forming a large cloud of dust. Noelle, everyone exclaimed. As the dust settled, everyone saw Noelle. Thankfully, she was okay. Her wand was protruded forward, as if she was going to cast a defense spell, but it wasn't needed as she noticed a figure in front of her. The others widened their eyes once they knew who it was. It was Asta, the demon dweller, sword in hand. His body was covered in dirt and bruises from his earlier fight with Veto, but that didn't stop him from getting up and defending the water mage from Veto's fearsome attack. Asta took a deep breath before shouting, I'm not done yet. Chapter 38. Our United Strength. Hey there, readers, before you read the chapter, I just wanted to say something. Today's March 6th, exactly 6 months ago, I began writing this FIC. I wasn't sure how to do, but to my utter surprise, it blew up. This must be how the Black Bulls felt after the 6-month time skip smiley face, but jokes aside, I just wanted to say thanks to everyone who favorited, followed, and reviewed. You don't know how happy you've made me. I'm not sure if I'll finish the story before I turn 18 in 7 months, but I can worry about it later. With that out of the way, enjoy the chapter. CYA. Asta, Noelle said, not expecting to see the swordsman in front of her. You're back on your feet. The magicless mage nodded. That's right. But how? Aren't you still injured? Should you be up? The water mage asked worryingly. Asta did his best to point at the song mage, who had been thrown just a few feet from where he laid. Thank Kahono. She used the last of her magic to heal me a bit, he explained, remembering how the temple priestess healed him and gave him the nod to help Noelle. Noelle looked at the song mage, who had fallen unconscious from her wound and low amount of mana. Kahono, it seems I owe you again. Don't worry, we'll avenge you and Kyoto. Asta turned around to face his royal squadmate. He walked over to her and patted her head, a smile on his face. But that's not it. I saw that spell you used. It was awesome. That's your second spell today. You're crazy amazing. I'm proud of you. The swordsman turned around to face Veto again, missing Noelle madly blushing as she slowly put a hand on her head. Leave this fight to me. Yami breathed a sigh of relief as he slumped on his seat. Damn, they just love nearly giving me a heart attack, don't they? He rhetorically asked. All right kid, you're back in the fight, let's see how you do. Leave the fight to you. Noelle repeated the swordsman's words, her eyes held obvious worry as she looked at Kahono, and then to Kyoto as he laid next to Keno's. Are you sure about that? This guy isn't just strong, he's ruthless. What if he cuts off your arm or something? Asta tightened the grip on his sword. I know how strong and ruthless he is, but I want payback. I might have not been able to get up, but I was still conscious. I saw what he did to Kyoto, but I don't think anyone was more worried than Keno's and Kahono. And then I saw what he did to Kahono. My friends were suffering and I couldn't do anything. He raised the sword up. I won't let it happen again, but it's not just that. Noelle raised a brow. What do you mean? After you used your spell to blast his arm off, he easily grew it back. That means magic exists that can fix incredibly severe wounds, even dismemberment. If we can find out what kind of magic that is, we can fix Kyoto's foot, and Kahono's throat, Asta replied. The water mage was still unsure of letting her squadmate fight alone, but she relented, understanding how he felt. Okay, but promise me you'll be careful. Asta gave her a thumbs up. You can count on me. Noelle walked over to where Magna and Luck. Hey there, are you two alright? We're fine, but we won't be able to get up for some time, but on to the more important matter at hand, Magna replied as he grinned. We saw that spell of yours. Nice work rookie, I'm proud of you. Thanks, but what do you expect? I am royalty after all, she answered, flicking her ponytail in a sophisticated manner. Oh, and that reminds me, I'm not a rookie anymore, I'm your superior now. Whatever, the flame said back. Hey, I thought that spell of yours was so cool. When we get back to the hideout, can you use that against me in a fight? Luck asked. I guess, I do need to practice it until I have it totally mastered, Noelle replied as she slumped down and sat beside them. I just hope that Asta will be okay. Don't count Rost out, he'll be just fine, Magna said. From afar, Keno's looked at the water mage, a smile was on his face. Nice work, Noelle, I knew you weren't a failure. I wonder what your siblings say if they were here, he said to nobody in particular, but then his eyes grew serious as he looked at his grimoire. It had stopped glowing a few seconds ago. Great. Just when I think I'm starting to understand the secrets of my grimoire, it throws some new thing at me that I don't understand. Not too far from where Keno's and Kyoto were, was Finral, hiding behind a large rock wall. The spatial mage had found an alternative entrance. Upon entering it, he arrived to see Veto just unleash his manticore flare attack at Noelle, and asked to block it, causing him to immediately hide, knowing how strong Veto was. Damn it, he still hasn't been beaten yet. Magna and Luck couldn't do it. Keno's couldn't do it, Noelle couldn't do it, not to mention those 3 unconscious temple mages, and now Asta says he wants to take him on alone. Is he crazy? That guy is a captain-level mage. He thought frantically. Asta grinned as he looked at Veto. Time for round 2, you're facing off against me again. You want to face me again? Forget it, the 3 points I stated earlier still stand, you couldn't beat me just a little while ago, and now I've unleashed my third eye, you definitely can't beat me. Third eye, oh. Is that why the 3 of you guys are called the third eye, because you all can get a third eye on your forehead? Now that I think about it, it makes a lot of sense, Asta said, rubbing his chin in thought. For the first time since he'd arrived at the underwater temple, Veto gave a deadpan expression, baffled at the swordsman's action. I guess you're not wrong. But that isn't important now, he said before scanning his surroundings, he then grinned. Because what is important right now is protecting everyone here. At that, he jumped into the air. Beast magic. Bear claws. He exclaimed as both of his hands wore the familiar spell. He shot 6 slashes, but this time they weren't aimed at Asta. Instead, they were aimed at everyone else who was out of the fight. Shit. Everyone. Asta cursed. Damn it. I don't have enough mana to save everyone again. Keno's called. And I can't protect everyone in time. Noelle added. The beast mage's attacks were about to hit their targets, but then. I think I can handle this. A voice spoke as a plethora of threads shot out from one origin. They quickly split up and wrapped around everyone who was there. Conscious or not, they were then pulled to the wall immediately next to the main entrance. It seems I got here just in time. The voice spoke again. Everyone looked up and smiled, seeing who their savior was. Vanessa. They all exclaimed. Hey there kiddos, you must have had quite the fight, the thread mage said. You have no idea, Keno said back. Yet another enemy. Is this just going to be a pattern or something? Veto mumbled to himself, but put the thought away as he prepared to charge forward, but noticed he couldn't as he was quickly bound by threads. I'm not letting you hurt my squadmates any further, Vanessa said seriously as she skillfully held a bundle of threads with both hands. Wow, you restrained him so quickly. Now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever seen you fight before. I bet you're awesome, Keno stated. I wouldn't really say that. My magic isn't too good for combat, the thread mage countered. That doesn't matter. Look what you did. You saved us all from danger, and restrained the enemy, and all quite effortlessly if I might say, the solar mage continued. Ah, you're just saying that, Vanessa said as the two shared a quick laugh. Veto grit his teeth. Don't think that these meager and pathetic excuses for restraints can actually hold me. He exclaimed as he broke free, his grimoire then flipped to the page of a familiar spell. I take it you remember this, mythical beast magic, Manticore Flare. At his call, the same red magic circle appeared in front of his hands as the manticore head came out and released its ferocious attack. Asta ran over to them. Everyone, stay behind me, I already beat this spell before. Noel quickly ran in front of him. No way, you haven't regained all of your energy, I'll protect everyone with my sea dragon's lair. Are you sure that's enough? Anti-magic is practically guaranteed to stop it, Asta protested. Anti-magic won't matter if you barely have any energy to work with, Noel protested. Not the time you two. The other black bulls exclaimed as the attack neared them. Okay Noel, we'll compromise, you use your spell around us, and if it fails, I'll cut it, Asta suggested. Works for me, let's do this, the royal agreed as her grimoire came out. Water creation magic. Sea dragons. Her declaration was interrupted as a familiar portal appeared in front of the group. The manticore flare entered it and came out of another portal, heading straight for Veto, but the beast mage quickly dodged it. Wait, that portal, that was spatial magic, which means, Magna began. Hey there, everyone, what good timing I have. I just got here and saw this guy launch an attack at you, so, just thought I'd help. Finral lied as he walked to the others from his hiding spot. He didn't want to tell them that he was hiding, he may have been scared, but he would never let anyone hurt his squadmates. Thanks a bunch, Finral, and here I thought you were a coward, Vanessa said. The spatial mage scratched the back of his head. You're not entirely wrong, but I don't want to see any of you get hurt. Yami looked at them from the screen. It seems those two have arrived. Good, even though they're not combat mages, they can find a way to help Asta somehow. Alright then, Noel, I'm going to need you to keep everyone on the sidelines safe, Vanessa instructed. As for me and Finral, we'll help Asta fight Veto. What? There's no way in hell you expect me to go against that monster of a mage. Finral exclaimed. I might have saved you all from his attack, but protecting you and engaging in battle with him are two different things. But what happened to not wanting to see us get hurt? You can't really do that if you're never willing to fight, Keno said. The spatial mage turned to the solar mage. That's different than what's going on now, you see. He was interrupted as Vanessa walked up to him. Come on Finral, just help us out, you're a part of our squad. Plus, if you do it, I'll give you a hug, she hummed. Finral quickly turned in her direction. Excuse me, what now? Vanessa spread her arms out. You heard me, I'm giving you a one-time chance to rest your head on my soft and bouncy chest. Sounds good, doesn't it? Blood shot out of Finral's nose, but that didn't stop him from pumping his fist into the air, his face red with excitement. Oh hell yeah, count me in. Let's take this bastard down. Kenos looked at his superior with comedic indifference. So, the well-being of your squad isn't a good enough motivation for you to fight, but boobies are. Can't say I agree with your point of view, but to each his own, I'm not going to judge. Liar. That tone of voice sounded super judgmental. Finral exclaimed as he pointed at the solar mage. The look on Keno's face didn't change as he crossed his arms and looked away. I don't. What on earth are you talking about, my pervy superior, whatever do you mean? His face contorted into a small grin, but that was unseen by the spatial mage. Finral comedically growled before he turned around back to his two temporary partners. He took his grimoire out. I'm ready. Vanessa nodded. Same here. Asta grinned as the three of them looked at Veto, each doing a serious pose with the swordsman in the center. Great. Then let's do this. So, are you finally ready to fight? Good, Veto said as he cracked his knuckles. Bring it on. Okay Asta, since you're the fighter among us, you'll be the only one to physically confront Veto. Finral and I will use our magic to support you, Vanessa explained as she wrapped threads around Asta's wrists and ankles. That's all right with me, I trust you too. The magicless mage exclaimed as he ran forward, holding the demon dweller with both hands. Once the two were only inches from each other, Asta began to attack, but Veto dodged each strike, grinning as he did. Didn't I tell you your sword attacks were predictable? You never learn, the beast mage taunted. What's next? You going to tell me that you're not giving up and that you'll eventually beat me? That's right, but there's more, Asta began. This time I'm fighting with the help of my friends and squadmates. Ooh, your friends and squadmates, I'm so scared, I wonder why they're just standing there all helpless while you're fighting me, looks like they're helping a lot. Veto laughed. Be quiet, Asta yelled as he jumped into the air, ready to strike. That's my line, beast magic. Leopard kick. The beast man exclaimed as he turned to where Asta would land, his leg covered in the construct. As Asta was coming down, Veto launched his leg up, ready to kick the teen straight up into the roof. Thanks to Ki, Asta was able to anticipate his opponent's attack. He abandoned his offensive attack and quickly positioned the flat side of the demon dweller's sword a short amount of inches from his chest, using his right arm as support by placing it firmly in between the flat side and his chest. The kick hit the sword dead on. Even though it was dispelled, the force was enough to send Asta yards into the air. Asta, everyone exclaimed. Don't worry, I'm fine, it'll take a lot more than that to keep me down. The swordsman called back. Thanks to his block, he had not hit the roof as Veto had hoped, but he was starting to fall at a high speed. It'll take a lot more than that to keep you down, Luckily for you, I've got plenty more. Beast magic. Bear claw. The beast mage exclaimed as he quickly crouched down and jumped into the air, ready to attack, knowing that at the speed he was attacking combined with the speed Asta was falling at, it had hit the swordsman just before he could hit the ground. Take. He launched his attack, but was surprised as Asta, somehow, got pulled in the left direction, completely evading his claw. What in the? He mumbled, but his surprise grew when he saw a portal appear and Asta entering it. Veto landed back on the ground with a decent amount of force. Where the hell did that little brat go? He openly yelled. Right over here. He heard the magicless mage exclaim from behind him, but he had no time to react as he felt a great sense of pain in his back, quickly dropping to the ground. Asta landed a few feet from where his opponent laid. Gotcha, he exclaimed triumphantly. He had been able to get a good cut on Veto's back thanks to his sword. Veto got up. He grit his teeth. How the hell did you appear behind me, and how did you evade my first attack? He yelled, pointing at Asta. You're asking the wrong person. He turned to see Vanessa and Finral, the former was grinning. With the use of my thread magic, I was able to wrap Asta's wrists and ankles, letting me pull him out of danger in a moment's notice, and thanks to Finral here and his spatial magic, Asta can be teleported from any direction I pull him in, she exclaimed. So, I wonder if we're still those helpless people who are just standing here doing nothing. Finral cracked a small smile as well to not appear intimidated, but in his mind, it was a completely different story. What the hell, Vanessa? Don't taunt him. What if he decides to stop fighting Asta and come at us? Your big mouth is going to get us both killed. He mentally exclaimed with panic. Wow, that's a really good plan, Noel stated. Kenos nodded. I know, with the help of those two, his mobility just got a major boost, now it'll be harder for Veto to land a solid hit, he added. Imagine if those two were here when I was fighting Veto, with that strategy combined with my double aura, my speed would be unmatched. Not bad, I'm impressed, Yami said. Gifso looked at him. What do you mean, are you talking about their combo strategy? He asked. The dark mage nodded. You bet, when it comes to combat strength within my squad, those two are right at the bottom, that and out of everyone in my squad, those two are the least willing to fight, but they've proven themselves here. Asta brought out the best of them and their magic. Their combo turned two non-combat centric attributes into the greatest support move I've ever seen, he replied. I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say. He stopped as he quickly looked at the screen, seeing the three of them, a proud grin creased his face. Quote. Those three make a perfect team. You weren't expecting that, were you? Asta taunted this time as he pointed his sword at his bestial opponent. I remember that you said the second reason I couldn't beat you was that my physical strength and speed couldn't match yours that was magically enhanced. Well, thanks to my squadmates, I practically conquered that. I might not match you in strength, but what's the point of being stronger than me if you can't hit me? Veto turned around to look at the swordsman, his face full of rage. How dare that boy taunt me, all? He was pulled out of his thoughts by Asta as kept talking. And I just realized something else. Veto raised a brow. And what might that be? Thanks to our new approach, my speed and mobility have gone up, but as well as that, you can't predict where I'm going to attack anymore, meaning I just conquered the first reason as well. Your third reason was total bullshit of course, which means that my chances of beating you have gone back up, third eye or no third eye. Asta explained. Veto was angry now. Why you little? He was interrupted once more as Asta ran at him, but this time was different than the previous time. He jumped a few inches into the air and was immediately pulled by Vanessa's threads into one of Finral's portals. Veto was expecting the boy to come out and attack him from behind again, but that's not what happened. What Veto instead saw made his mouth gape open with disbelief. He turned all around him, seeing a multitude of portals. They were opening and closing almost every second. Was it actually possible for his magicless opponent to be moving from portal to portal at such a frightening speed? Over here, Asta exclaimed as he came out of a portal to Veto's left, inflicted a medium-sized cut on the beast mage's arm, but before he could retaliate, Asta entered another portal. This is good, Asta is able to land hits while Veto can't land any, but regardless, we have to be careful. It may not look like it to the others watching, but this requires a lot of focus. If either me or Finral act too fast or too slow, we could leave Asta vulnerable, and that could be deadly, Vanessa thought as she continued to pull her bundle of threads. I'll get you this time. Veto exclaimed as he launched a punch at where he thought Asta would appear, but he only ended up punching air. I doubt that. Asta countered as he came out of a portal to Veto's right, cutting his other arm too before retreating into another portal. Damn it, I'm so scared and I'm really nervous, but I have to fight. Vanessa and Asta are counting on me, I can't let them down. Finral mentally exclaimed as he opened and closed his hands, respectively causing portals to open and close around the battlefield. That's right, keep going, make that bastard pay for hurting my family. Gifso exclaimed as he saw the swordsman succeed in every attack. Veto gritted his teeth as more minor cuts were inflicted on his body. Damn it, ever since that brat started zooming around, I haven't been able to land anything. He then looked at Finral and Vanessa. And it's all because of them. Spatial magic and thread magic, troublesome. I need to eliminate them first. Veto then turned around, oddly letting his opponents see his back. I have some new targets, and I know just who they are. He exclaimed as his grimoire flipped to a page. Mythical beast magic. Historicity artillery. At his call, a reddish-orange aura surrounded him, taking the shape of an old-world porcupine. There were differences though from his porcupine artillery spell, the most notable one being that all of the quills were pointing in one direction, right at Finral and Vanessa. The quills then fired, coming toward them at a quick speed. Finral and Vanessa widened their eyes. Shit, I won't let you hurt them. Noelle exclaimed as she ran in front of the two. Water creation magic. Sea Dragon's lair. The water barrier then formed around the three, protecting them from the deadly quills. Thanks, Noelle, the two said. I can't even get a hit on those two, this really sucks, Veto mumbled. Hey, don't forget about me. Asta came out of a portal directly in front of the beast mage, doing a slash. He formed a cut on his chest before being pulled into another portal. I need to anticipate his movements, or else this will continue until I'm defeated, Veto muttered to himself. There must be a pattern. Try to remember the places he came out of, and if I do that, he should come out right over there. He turned around, and lo and behold, Asta came out. The swordsman was quite shocked to see the beast mage ready to attack him. Asta, Vanessa exclaimed as she tried to pull Asta into a portal, but not before Veto landed a cut on his cheek. The magicless mage appeared next to his two teammates. Damn it, he got me. He anticipated where you'd end up, Finral said. Sorry, it's our fault. You follow our movements and those movements have gotten repetitive. Should we try a different approach? What? No way. The combo is awesome. We just need to change up our movements. I have total confidence in the two of you and your magic. The three of us make an awesome team, Asta replied with a grin. Finral and Vanessa both gave looks of shocked surprise when Asta complimented them. Nobody's ever said that about us before, they both thought. The swordsman ran forward once more, and again became a blur to the beast mage as he went from portal to portal. A smile touched Vanessa's features as she continued pulling her bundles. He believes in me, and my magic. Asta, you're just one more reason why I don't regret joining this squad. I remember the day I joined the Black Bulls, she began to think back. Flashback. Years ago. The sun was shining everywhere around the Clover Kingdom, upon the capital, the buildings, the rural areas, they were all touched by the sun's rays, even in a place far from the kingdom, a place covered in trees, a place which is only known to others as the Witch's Forest. Within the forest resided a large building. Compared to all the other buildings in the area, it was clearly the biggest, but inside a room in that building resided a rather large birdcage, and within the cage, sitting down with her head resting on the table, was a young Vanessa. In front of Vanessa's head was a group of dolls made from her threads, they were all in the likeness of a crow. I wonder how it is outside. Vanessa asked her dolls, as if they would respond to her. But they did respond to her. I don't know, I've never been outside before, neither have you. Vanessa got up and walked to the side of her cage. She saw a small window that let her see the outside. The leaves were rustling and the sun was shining on them. It looks beautiful out there, she remarked as she walked back and sat down on her chair. That's good, we'll finally have something good to look at, another crow stated. Yeah, Vanessa said. Hey, can I ask you all something? Of course, they all replied at once. Why? Is the queen keeping me in this cage? I've been here since I was really little, just practicing my magic, but why? Why can't I live outside like all the other witches? A dove made of threads flew down from a higher point of the cage and landed on the young girl's head. Why are you asking us that? You created us, we don't know anything you don't. It's not smart to ask a question to us when you're practically talking to yourself, it said as all the birds began to undo themselves, becoming just a pile of threads on the table. You're right, I'm here all by myself, she said as a single tear fell down her face. But just then, a sound was heard close by, and in a few more seconds, a part of the wall where Vanessa's cage was within was broken through, forming a huge opening, and from that opening, a figure emerged. What the hell? That damn queen dodged my attack again, the figure spoke. Vanessa looked at the person. They were wearing a white tank top and black pants, and a cloak was around them. As that? A man. I've never seen one before, and did he say the queen dodged his attack? That means he's fighting the queen, she thought. The man looked at Vanessa. Oh, she has a prisoner. Don't worry, I'll get you out, he said as he drew a sword, forming an opening large enough for her to escape. My name's Yami Sukahiro, what's yours? Vanessa. No last name though. Well, it's nice to meet you, Vanessa, you're free to go now, Yami said as he started to turn around. No, you don't understand, I'm not a prisoner, I was born here, this cage is my home, at least, that's what the queen told me, Vanessa said. Your home? I don't know, your key doesn't tell me you're very happy here, Yami said. Tell ya what, why don't you leave this place and come live with me? If you were born in this forest, I doubt you know what the outside world is like. Vanessa looked nervous. I'll leave this place. Yami nodded. But if you don't want to leave, it's fine, I won't force you to go if you don't want to. Wait, Vanessa exclaimed as she turned around to look at the chair and table before she turned back to Yami. I've spent my life wondering what outside life would be like, and now, it's time that I live it. Cool, so let's go, we better get out of this forest before the queen gets here, Yami said as he jumped down from the opening. Vanessa started running and jumped out of the opening too, a smile on her face. It's time for me to begin a new life. End flashback. Ever since that day, I've never once looked back, becoming one of the Black Bull's first members, Vanessa said to herself. Finral also had a smile on his face as he opened and closed portals. He felt the same way as Vanessa over what Asta said. He watched as the swordsman went from portal to portal. Thanks, Asta. Nobody's ever said they had confidence in my magic before. My life's never been the easiest. Just like Keno's, I had a falling out with my own family early in life. It wasn't great, but luckily, it led to me becoming a part of this squad. He began to think back. Flashback. Years ago, the sun was shining over the Clover Kingdom, touching everything with its warm rays of light, but that fact was irrelevant within the room of a noble house. In it stood 3 people, a tall grown man, a young boy, and a young Finral. All right, you two. For your magic practice, I want you to destroy as many statues as you can in 10 seconds, the man instructed, pointing to the many simple stone statues that covered the room. Father? Finral asked. The man turned to his son. Yes, what is it, Finral? He asked back. I don't think I can do this. I don't want to use offensive spatial magic. I don't want to hurt anybody, Finral replied before he was met with a harsh slap to the face. Stop being weak. This family prides itself on our mages with offensive spatial magic. That's the way it's been for generation after generation. You are my eldest son. I won't allow you to disgrace our family just because you don't want to hurt anybody, his father harshly said as he turned to look at the other boy, who had already succeeded in destroying 30 statues. Now that's how you do it. Why can't you be more like your younger brother? His father said. Finral looked at his younger brother. They weren't completely brothers though, only half brothers, same father, different mothers. If you don't try harder and abandon this compassion nonsense, your younger brother will become the next head of the house instead of you. Is that what you want? Finral looked down, clenching his fists. No sir. No hands. Years passed. Both Finral and his half-brother had gotten their grimoires and shortly after participated in the Magic Knight's entrance exam. His brother had impressed 5 of the 8 captains present and had decided to join the Golden Dawn, but he had no such luck. Night fell as he walked around the testing grounds, watching as new recruits left with their captains. Slowly, the place emptied out, and he was all alone. What am I going to do now? I can't go back home. Father won't be pleased with me at all, but where will I go? He asked himself aloud, his head down as we walked about. Why don't you join me? The sudden sound of another voice startled Finral. He looked up to see a man smoking. The spatial mage immediately knew who he was. You're Yami Sukahiro, the captain of the Black Bulls. Finral realized. What are you doing here, and where were you during the exam? I arrived late, and I didn't feel like getting chewed out by the other captains, so I just kept a low profile and watched the exam from afar, Yami explained. And I was quite impressed by your spatial magic. You can teleport people, even yourself. That's a useful skill. You really mean it? Finral asked. Yami nodded as he threw a robe at him. Here, now it's official, you're a member of the Black Bulls. Finral looked at the robe before putting it on. Thank you. he mumbled. Now let's get moving, Yami said as he pulled out his broom and mounted it. Finral mounted his own broom as they both flew into the sky. Hey, is it okay if I ask you something? Finral said. Okay, shoot. I'm not a mage who likes to hurt anybody. My family are all offensive spatial mages, but I'm not. My father says I'm too compassionate. I want to know, does being compassionate make me weak? What? Hell no. Nothing wrong with compassion, it's what keeps us from becoming beasts, monsters. All I ask is that when trouble comes, you don't chicken out. You think you can do that? Finral looked at him, his fists clenched as he smiled. Yes, sir. End flashback. Just like what Captain Yami told me, danger's here, so I can't chicken out, Finral said to himself. By joining this squad, I was able to see what the world was like, Vanessa thought. By joining this squad, I was able to find a place that valued who I was, Finral thought. So that's why, they both began to think as they looked at the battlefield before. Quote. I won't allow us to die down here. Is it just me, or does it look like Asta's moving faster? Luck asked openly. Kenos looked forward, all he could see was a blur. I really can't tell, but if it's similar to what Veto was planning to do to me earlier, then this is going to be powerful. They're right, Finral, can your portals keep up? Vanessa asked. I can, if you can keep up with your threads, Finral said back. Veto could only watch as the blur that was Asta increased in speed. It doesn't matter how fast you go, I'll survive whatever you throw at me now that I'm beginning to figure out your pattern of attack, he said. You'll reach your physical and magical limits eventually, and when you do, I'll take full advantage of it, I'll make you fall into total despair. Physical and magical limits, you say? Vanessa repeated with a smirk. Well, in the case that would ever happen, Finral added. Veto looked at them, but realized that he had made a mistake, because, in the corner of his eye, he saw Asta speeding toward him, his body in a diving-like position with the demon dweller protruding outward. The beast mage turned to counterattack, but it had proved futile as the anti-magic sword was driven right into the left side of his torso. Asta grinned, ready to finish the statement his superiors had begun. We'd just break right through them. Chapter 39. Against all odds. Hey there, readers, just a quick thing I wanted to say. About a month ago, I ran into this story called White Clover, by an author who goes by the name Common. They said they were inspired by this story, and after giving it a look, I saw it had potential, so check the story out if you have time. With that out of the way, enjoy the newest chapter. CYA. Alright, that was what every conscious person exclaimed at the top of their lungs as they watched Asta pierce Veto's torso with his sword. They did it. They really did it. Gifso cheered as he jumped up and down. Yami nodded, a huge smile on his face. Those three did a great job. Damn, that rookie is just getting better and better, Magna said as he and Luck fist bumped. Don't forget about Finral and Vanessa, they were awesome too. I should really convince those three to try that combo thing on me. I bet it would be a lot of fun, Luck said. Finral breathed a sigh of relief as he slumped a bit. He turned to his thread-wielding partner and started walking to her. I can't believe we actually did it, this is. His statement was interrupted as Vanessa grabbed his head and pulled it into her chest. I made a promise, so I'll keep it, she hummed before a soft smile came to her face. Nice job, Finral, you did great. The spatial mage gently pulled his head a few centimeters away, revealing a trail of blood coming down one of his nostrils, but his face had the same soft smile. Thanks, you did great too, he said before letting his head drop back into the pair of soft mountains. Noelle looked down at Kahono, she smiled. We did it, Kahono, you've been avenged, I just wish you were awake right now to see it. Kenos did the same as he looked down at Kyoto. It's all over, it took every single one of us, not a single person here didn't give it their all, but I promise you, I'll find a way to fix your foot, I'll save your dream. But of all the people who cheered, none were happier than Asta. Yes, after so much effort from everyone, we finally won, we beat him. Veto's mouth was agape once the demon dweller was lodged into his side, his mouth then began to contort, but instead of closing shut as a signification of his death, it turned into an evil grin. Ha 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 ha, a soft chuckle echoed throughout the area, causing the faces of all the black bulls to change from joy to horror as they knew who it belonged to. But just like before, no one's face showed more horror than Asta as he suddenly felt two hands gently grab onto his arms. He looked up to see the beast mage's sadistic grin. Ha 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 ha. Veto then laughed loudly as he looked down at the swordsman. That strategy was impressive, but there was no way it could really kill me. Licht and Raya can move so much faster and hit so much harder. I merely let you strike me so you couldn't escape from my attacks like you did the other times, as well as to disarm you of one of your weapons. What? No way. Finral and I tried so hard, we gave it everything we got, and all this time it had no chance of killing him, Vanessa thought as she grit her teeth and a drop of sweat rolled down her face. Finral, who had released himself from the Thread Mage's soft embrace upon hearing Veto's chuckling, did the same thing as his partner. Is there no way to beat this guy? Veto's grin widened as Asta's look of horror only worsened. And now that I've achieved my 2 objectives, prepare for the hurt. He exclaimed as he began to squeeze, slowly crushing Asta's arms. I was interrupted the last time I got this chance, so I won't waste any time. His hands became covered in 2 reddish bear claws as he squeezed harder. The previous time this had happened, Asta had tried his best not to scream, even going as far as biting his opponent, but this time, he couldn't bear it. Ah. There it is, there's that scream of despair, it's like music to my ears. Veto laughed as he just squeezed even harder. Asta, everyone exclaimed. Damn it, Asta, Yami exclaimed as he quickly got up from his seat and walked to the edge of the room. What are you going to do? Gifso asked. I'm busting us out of this place. Those guys need their captain, Yami replied as he drew his katana. His grimoire then came up as darkness enveloped it. But how? We're stuck in here, the game mage challenged. The dark mage grit his teeth in frustration, but then, his grimoire then began flipping through pages, stopping on a blank one as text became inscribed on it. Yami looked at his new spell before a grin crossed his face. You're wrong there, old timer, we were stuck in here, but now, we're getting out. There we go, all done, Veto said as he let go of Asta, leaving the demon dweller lodged in his torso as the swordsman hit the ground. No, we have to do something, Kenos muttered. I could try using Sea Dragon's Roar again, but it could hit Asta, not to mention Veto can just regenerate whatever damage I managed to inflict, Noel muttered as well. Ah, it was great to hear your screams of despair, but I'm not satisfied yet, I want to hear you say that you can never beat me, Veto said. It was Asta's turn to chuckle as he looked up at Veto, there was no look of despair present, only determination. Are you an idiot or something? You already know that that's never going to happen, I'll keep fighting. The beast mage raised one claw into the air. Fine then. I suppose your earlier screams will suffice, now you can die so I can take those swords back for my master. He exclaimed. Asta. The others exclaimed. Finral, Vanessa, and Noel prepared to do whatever they could to get the magicless mage out of danger, but their movements were beaten out as a beam fired straight at Veto. Veto noticed the attack and quickly crossed his arms, the beam pushing him a few inches back. Vanessa took her chance to pull Asta towards her with her threads. A beam. What a minute. That color. It was orange, which means. She and Finral looked behind them and smiled. The attack that came to their aid was none other than Sunbeam Ray. Kenos was back on his feet, though he was panting. I'm not letting you kill anyone. Noel looked at him with concern. You shouldn't be up. Your mana level is still pretty low, you're running on mostly adrenaline. The solar mage glanced at her before turning back at Veto. I can't stay sitting down. I was the third person to fight Veto. I had to watch you all fight while I just sat here. Not anymore, especially when a squadmate needed help. He responded before he started to walk forward, his grimoire came up to him. Your battle is with me now too, solar reinforcement magic, sunshine aura. So, the sun brat wants to keep fighting, you won't take me down like you did last time, the beast man cracked his knuckles as he boasted confidently, but then, he was suddenly kicked to the ground. What the? Veto muttered as he turned around, his eyes widened to see Luck, the lightning mage was equipped in his signature gloves and boots. You. Luck, Noelle exclaimed. She looked to where she remembered he was sitting down and saw he wasn't there. How'd you get there so fast? You shouldn't be up either. No can do. Kenos got back up, so I don't have any excuse not to either. Besides, as Captain Yami would tell us, we need to push past our limits, so that's what I'm doing, Luck replied. Alright then, I'll take you down too, Veto said. I won't lose too. Flame magic. Exploding fireball. The declaration of a spell interrupted Veto's statement. The beast mage crossed his arms to defend himself as a fireball came right at him. Veto uncrossed his arms and looked forward to see Magna. The flame mage was grinning. I have to surpass my limits too. I'm a man. There's nothing shameful about sitting on the sidelines. The true shame comes when you're on the sidelines while everyone else is fighting for their life. Solar creation magic. Solar construct. Blade. Kenos exclaimed while charging forward. He equipped his weapon as he jumped into the air. Veto jumped out of the way, but his peripheral vision picked up on Luck quickly approaching him from the other side. My turn. Lightning magic. Voltage trail. He exclaimed as the trail moved in and shocked the beast mage. Ah, he exclaimed in pain. Don't think we're done with you yet. You're going to pay for hurting our Rasta. Flame magic. Prison death scatter shot. Magna exclaimed as he continued the assault, firing a stronger set of his explosive scatter shots, multiple of said shots hitting his bestial opponent. Veto was pushed back, but unbeknownst to him, Kenos had taken the flame mage's attack as a chance to jump into the air. The attack then ended, the beast mage then noticed a shadow above him. He looked up, seeing the solar mage, but it was too late as Keno's launched a slash right at his shoulder. The beast man dropped to his knees. What the hell? The three of them aren't at their best, so how are they landing successful attacks against me? He wondered before he looked down, realizing the source of his sudden weakness. It's the demon dweller's sword. It's still lodged in my torso. I never removed it from when the boy struck me earlier. It's draining my magic, which is slowing me down. I need to get it out. He grabbed onto the sword with one hand and slowly pulled it out. The sword hit the ground as blood dripped from his side. Don't give him time to recover. Keno's instructed as his grimoire flipped through pages before stopping on one. Solar creation magic. Rain of solar daggers. Lightning magic. Thunderbolt destruction. Flame magic. Explosive scatter shot. The three spells were all heading for Veto at once, but the beast mage looked unnerved as his grimoire flipped to a page. That won't work. Mythical beast creation magic. Nemean lion armor. He exclaimed as he became armed in a reddish construct of the legendary Greek lion, and similar to Hercules, Veto wore the lion's skin as if it was an article of clothing. You can try to hurt me, but as long as I have this, my mightiest defense spell, that'll never happen, Veto said as the spell disappeared and he turned his back to them. But I'll have to sacrifice defense. For now, mythical beast magic. Historicity artillery. The familiar porcupine appeared as he fired the quills. You two, get behind me. Keno said as Magna and Luck did so. Solar creation magic. Amaterasu's guard. At his call, the Japanese sun goddess appeared and protected the three of them. They then split back up. There's more where that came from. I won't let you recover either. Mythical beast creation magic. Griffin wings. Veto continued as the aura of a griffin's wings appeared on his back. He then quickly flew towards the three black bulls. Damn it, he's starting to use more of his mythical beast spells. We need to kick it up a notch, Keno said. The beast mage then became a few inches from the three. Now I have you. He was going to attack, but then a purple beam of light crossed over right in between them. Veto quickly flew back. Another interception. Keno's, Magna, and Luck looked to where the attack came from. They grinned to see Ghosh, standing on a high ledge, with Charmy standing by his left as well as someone else hiding behind him. So, this is where you all were. No wonder I didn't run into any of you, the mirror mage plainly stated as he looked at Veto. I see you can fly now, and what's with that creepy eye on your forehead? Not the time. Noel exclaimed. Fine. Mirror magic. Reflect refrain. Ghosh exclaimed as multiple mirrors appeared above Veto. No time passed before they reflected their beams of light, but the beast mage was able to evade them with the help of his wings. Try this on for size. Cotton creation magic. Army of striking sheep. Charmy joined in as the three sheep appeared. They zoomed towards Veto. The beast man's wings disappeared as he dropped to the ground in order to face the sheep head on. Okay then. Mythical beast magic. Fenrir Fang. He exclaimed as his arms became armored in a werewolf's claws. He moved around, clawing and punching the closest sheep to him over and over before pushing it back as the other two sheep approached him. This is too easy. I thought these new challengers would have given me a better fight. He bragged before he noticed a storm of pebbles above him. They looked like they were thrown up there. Just as he raised his brow, smoke enveloped them and they emerged as an army of Astus. Granted, they didn't look too much like the original. Whose magic is that? He wondered quietly as he merely adjusted his attacks for the falling clones, but the increase in numbers had started to overwhelm him. I'm not going to be taken down by some poorly made dummies and a trio of sheep. Beast magic. Lion roar. Veto exclaimed as the construct appeared and he roared, sending the two varieties of enemies into the wall, causing them to disappear. He then turned to the group standing above them. He grinned. Get ready, because I'm coming for you. I'll take you down from that point so I can give you a nice and thorough beating. Mythical beast magic. Ganesh Patchy Stampede. He exclaimed as the construct of a large elephant appeared around him. He then charged in the direction of the newly arrived black bulls, his speed quite moderate compared to his other spells. Charmy was undeterred. You, give us a beating. Yeah, no, cotton creation magic. Strike of the sleeping sheep. She exclaimed as the large sheep appeared a few feet from Veto. I'm with her. You're strong, but you can't beat all of us. Mirror creation magic. Blade of infinite reflections. Ghosh added as the large blade of reflected light appeared beside the sheep. The two spells hit Veto simultaneously, overpowering his spell and pushing him back. Damn it, he internally cursed before he was shot in the back by a barrage of Magna and Luck's attacks. He turned to see the duo grinning. You didn't think we'd let you forget about us and go fight those other guys? Magna asked rhetorically. He's right, you're facing all of the black bulls now. Try to make this exciting, Luck added. Veto grit his teeth. They're not going to make this easy. I've already suffered from previous wounds. If I want to win, I need to increase my speed and... He didn't get to finish his thought as he saw Keno's running at him with his blade in hand. The solar mage swiped again and again, but Veto jumped back. Solar magic. Sunbeam ray. Keno's declared as he shot the beam. Veto crossed his arms to block it, and while he was successful, it didn't protect him from hitting the ground as an attack struck his backside. The beast mage turned to find the attack's origin, his eyes falling on Noelle, her wand out. I'm not going to sit around either. Like Luck said, you're fighting all of us. What a bitch, Veto muttered before he jumped high into the air, upon seeing two attacks coming from opposite directions, one belonging to Luck, the other to Gauche. The beast man landed on the ground with force as his grimoire flipped to a page. Beast magic. Bull tackle. He exclaimed as the construct of a bull surrounded him. He then began to violently spin vertically with his arms pointed outwards before he charged at the group. A bull? You trying to mock us or something? Magna asked as he started running towards him. He turned his head to the lightning mage. Come on, Luck. Let's go. Time to get some personal payback for last time. All right, Luck said as he followed suit, the two running at an even speed, their arms reeled back as a mass formed in between them. What are they doing? Gauche asked. Kenos grinned. You'll see. Veto along with the flame and lightning mages were now only a few inches apart from each other, the latter mages grinned. We're members of the Black Bulls, we won't lose to some cheap knockoff, combo spell, flame lightning exploding cannon. They exclaimed as they rammed the spell forward, neither attack beat the other, ending in a stalemate as Veto was stopped from movement. Gauche took his opportunity. Mirror magic. Large reflect ray. He exclaimed, shooting Veto away from the two. Kenos smirked. He was glad that they were finally getting the upper hand on their bestial opponent, but he noticed that three Black Bulls were not in action. He looked around and saw Finral and Vanessa a good distance away, kneeling down next to a fallen Asta. The others can handle Veto, I better go check on them, he thought as he started running to them. Once he got there, he drove his blade into the ground and knelt down. How is he? Not too good. I checked his arms and they've been battered pretty bad. I think it's safe to say they're broken, Vanessa replied. I'll stay here and keep an eye on Asta. You two can head back into the fight, Finral told them. That's not happening. They all looked down to see Asta. His fingers twitched as he slowly got back up, his grimoire coming in front of him as he pulled out the Demon Slayer's sword, but he then dropped to his knees. I have to keep fighting. Until the very end, I won't give up. You need to stay down, Vanessa told him. No way. Everybody else is out there fighting, not to mention our combo has the best shot of beating him, the swordsman protested. It's like we said earlier, if we reach our limits, we'll just break through them. Finral gave a small smile. Well, there's no stopping him when he gets like this. Vanessa smiled as well. You're right. She then stood up as threads came around her. She then wrapped threads around Asta's hand, binding his grip to the sword. She then turned to the solar mage. Kenos, I don't know how long Asta's arms will be able to go for before they give out, so if you can, please have his back so he doesn't overexert himself. The black-haired mage nodded. You can count on me, he replied before he stood up, removing his blade from the ground. Hey Kenos, I have an idea, Asta said. His squadmate raised a brow. Okay then, lay it on me. Why don't the two of us just finish this fight right now? The others should have weakened him pretty well by now, so, what'd you say? He asked. Kenos grinned as he looked forward, seeing the battle. Sure, why not? This mission has been going for long enough, it's time we beat him and put an end to it. Take this, Magna and Luck exclaimed together as they continued launching their spells at Veto. Damn it, just drop dead already, you bastard. Gauche and Charmy added as they used their own set of attacks. We're not going to lose. Noelle exclaimed as well. Hey, you guys. Two unified voices rang out, catching everyone's attention. They all turned to see Asta and Kenos, the solar and magicless mages standing equally beside each other, each with a blade in hand. Veto was shocked. What? You can still move, but your arms, I should have destroyed them. He yelled as he clenched his fists. No matter, I'll just break them again, and then I'll defeat everyone here before I take the magic stone. Just you wait, you will all fall into the deepest pits of despair. Will you shut up? Asta exclaimed angrily, catching the beast mage's attention. I've gotten sick and tired of all this talk about despair. Let me ask you something. Has anyone, just one person you fought today, did any of them give in to despair? Veto stopped, his eyes showing some shock. He thought about it. Luck and Magna, Kahono and Kyoto, Kenos, Noelle, Finral and Vanessa, and of course Asta. His mind was only filled with their declarations and actions of determination. Not once had any of them despaired, even during the fight's darkest moments. They never despaired. Kenos looked at his squadmate. He smiled before joining in. I know what despair feels like. A person who I thought would always love me no matter what path I chose to take once told me something that hurt more than whatever wound you inflicted. It felt painful inside. For the first time in my life, I fell into true despair, but I got past it, because I have people who I can lean on, people who can help me get through despair, and because of that, I'll never let it take me again. The others stood in silence, only nodding. This is it, guys, move out of the way, we'll finish this. Kenos and Asta exclaimed together at the top of their lungs. Magna, Luck, and Noel wasted no time moving to the side. Gauche and Charmy also stopped their attacks as the two started walking forward. I was never able to make them despair, not even once, Veto thought with his head slumped down, but when he raised it to look at Asta and Kenos, his eyes widened. He could see two figures towering behind the two boys, one was black, while the other was white, the beast mage gasped. I don't believe it, behind those two brats, his eyes focused on Asta. Behind him is a devil who devours despair itself, his focus then turned to Kenos. And behind him is an angel who faces despair, but overcomes it, and is made stronger as a result. Let's go. The two boys exclaimed as they ran forward. Kenos split up from Asta, staying on the ground while the swordsman flashed through the air with Finral and Vanessa's help. The solar mage ran even faster as he slashed at Veto, scoring hit after hit, unlike the previous times. This fight is over, Veto. No, I won't let it end like this. Veto screamed. Well, Kenos began as he jumped up on Veto's shoulder, using it to boost himself up into the air. That's too bad. Just as the solar mage jumped into the air, his eyes crossed with the swordsman's as he was zooming down, the two exchanged a quick grin. Alright, I'm leaving this to you, Asta, Kenos said as the two part ways. Thanks a bunch, Kenos, Asta said back as he drew the demon slayer back, holding it with both hands as he approached the beast mage. Hey despair. Ah, Veto yelled. You lose. Asta yelled too as he brought his sword with as much force as he could, right into Veto's shoulder, forming a crater under him as dust clouded the entire area. Kenos coughed as he landed on the ground, but once the dust cleared, a big smile was on his face. He saw Veto's body, laying on the ground, with Asta kneeling beside him, using the demon slayer to support him. Veto's mana. I'm not feeling it anymore, it's gone, he thought as he and the others jumped excitedly into the air. They had won.